From Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Tonight, the New York Yankees take on the Cleveland Indians. The starting pitchers in tonight's game are, for the visiting Cleveland Indians, Tom Candiotti, with a record of 1-1 and earned run average of 2.08. And for the Yankees, Joe Niekro, who has won one, lost none, with a 4.19 earned run average. Hi, everybody. This is Phil Rizzuto along with Billy Martin. And Billy, seems to me the Indians ran themselves right out of a ball game last night.
Well, Phil, that's one of the biggest mistakes you see in professional baseball. And for those ball players out there that want to be a major leaguer, it just shows that you have to hustle across home plate and don't take nothing for granted. He took it for granted that he was going to make it easy at home plate, but he forgot about the runner being called out at third base.
Now, here it is. And Tabler gets the hit, Billy. And now you explain it as he comes around, because you've got something else you're going to explain about Jacoby after we talk about
All right,
Thornton.
Here he is, Phil. Look at how he slows down right here. He should be running hard right across the plate. But that's not the worst thing that happened on this play, Phil. The play is right there. What happened was the worst thing. There's a play right in front of him with 2 outs. Why is he going to third base?
That's Jacoby you're talking about. That's
exactly
right. You know,
right.
they're putting all the blame on Thornton, but yet Jacoby, very seldom does a guy go to third base on a single or left field.
Not when the play's in front of you, and this is really a bad play right here. With 1 out, it's a good try because you're trying to score that extra run. With 2 outs, it's a very bad play.
Right, and he's pointing right there now, hoping that Thornton had crossed the plate to get him off the hook.
He's wishing that he ran hard.
I know it. He did.
He wanted to get off the hook.
Right now, is that the mark of a great pitcher? Of course, that's as close as they got to Guidry. He gave up 10 hits, he had only 1 run.
Well, Phil, the one thing about Guidry, a lot of people don't realize, he's his own pitching coach out there in the mountain. When he gets into trouble, he backs off the mountain, collects his thoughts, and comes back out there and battles you all the way. He's tough.
All right, now we got a big strikeout coming here, Billy. It makes Guidry surpass Red Ruffing and second to Whitey Ford.
This is great. You know, that makes me happy. You know, he's always had great years for me, Phil, and that just makes me happy. Another thing, too, Phil, he completed the ball game, which we really needed to help our bullpen, although our starters have been doing a good job of late.
They have, but that strikeout right there is lifetime strikeouts. He's number 2 on the Yankee list. So, Billy, thank you very much for your analysis. It was great. But right now, speaking of Ron Guidry down in the field, Jim Cott's going to have a little chat with him.
Thanks, Scooter. And the Yankee pitching staff got a much-needed complete game last night, and the effort came from the ace of their staff, Ron Guidry. Ron, a lot of talk in recent years about you not throwing quite as hard anymore, slider not as sharp. In your own mind, how has your pitching changed today from 5 or 6 years ago?
Well, it has changed, but it hasn't changed that drastically where I'm not throwing the ball with good velocity. I've learned that you don't have to throw it consistently in the 90s to get guys out. And what I've done is I've just learned how to take speed off some of the fastballs that I'm going to throw. I've learned how to throw a good changeup. I've learned how to throw a cut fastball. And it's right, the slider's not as hard as it used to be. It's still good. You know, I still have the good downward break on it, and that's what's most important. So consequently, you know, I don't throw the ball consistently as hard as I used to, but then again, I've learned that you don't have to. The end result is if you can get guys out throwing 60 compared to throwing 95, get guys out.
Does your arm bounce back just as quick as it did 5 or 6 years ago?
Well, it bounces back a little bit quicker now because, like I said, you don't throw the ball as hard consistently, so your arm is not as tired. You don't put so much of that added strain by throwing 100 pitches in the 90s. Like today, it's sore today, but then tomorrow it'll feel fine, and it has the last couple of years, and that's been a big asset to me, is to be able to come back and you know, throw easy. And when people say, well, do you think 230, 40 innings are going to bother you? No, not the way that I'm throwing now. I could continue to pitch 230 innings for maybe another 3 or 4 years.
Ron, thanks very much. Continued success, and we'll be back right after these messages.
Give me a light. A Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Case of light? No, Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
A Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else
Thanks.
is just a light.
Right now, your Dodge dealer has it all. With low-fat refinancing or up to $1,000 cash back on every new 1986 U.S.-built Dodge car and full-size truck in stock. Get an unbeatable 6.8 or 500 cash back on versatile Dodge Omni. Or get 9.9 or 1,000 cash back on Dodge Lancer ES. Unbeatable 6.8 or $1,000 on rugged Dodge Ram Chargers and full-size vans and wagons. That's right, low financing or up to 1,000 cash back. The Dodge dealers have it, but not for long. So if you're going to buy, see your dealer today.
You changed the way you look. Can you see that? Up close, it's exciting. And I'll tell you something, darling. You look marvelous.
No other taste attracts so much attention.
Absolutely marvelous.
Diet Pepsi, the most refreshingest invention.
And not only do you look marvelous, my little 12-ounce darling, but you taste marvelous.
No other taste attracts so much attention.
You come here often? I'm kidding you. I'm a kid.
Participating advertisers in New York Yankee baseball are Dodge, a performance revolution, an American revolution. Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just a light. Burger King, come in for breakfast and try our mouth-watering Croy sandwich. Your Toyota dealer and the Toyota Celica. Performance and style, who could ask for anything more? And by the New York Yankees. Well, here's the lineup for the visiting team, the Cleveland Indians. Brett Butler will lead off and play center field. The shortstop, Julio Franco, will bat second. Mel Hall will play left field. He'll bat third. Andre Thornton, the designated hitter. Brooke Jacoby at third. Pat Tabler, the first baseman. Joe Carter playing right field. Tony Bernazard at second. And Andy Allenson is the catcher. For the Yankees, Ricky Henderson leads off and plays center field. Ken Griffey plays left. He'll bat second. He'll be followed by Don Mattingly at first. Ron Hassey batting cleanup and catching. Dave Winfield in right. Mike Easler, the designated hitter. Mike Pagliuolo at third. Willie Randolph playing second base and batting eighth. And Bobby Meacham batting ninth and playing shortstop. Defensively for the Yankees, Don Mattingly's at first base. Co-captain Willie Randolph at second. Bobby Meacham, the shortstop. Mike Pagliuolo at third. Ken Griffey in left. Ricky Henderson's a center fielder. Dave Winfield out in right. Ron Hassey once again behind the plate.
All right, there he is, Joe Niekro. 1-3, lost 1. Check that. This fourth game, he has won 1 and lost none. And listen, Bill White, I had my eyes checked.
Yeah.
Because we're going to see more knuckleballs, and my eyeballs are going to be dancing all night. He and his kid Candiotti, who's got a dandy.
You're going to see some more Sunday, too, because Phil Niekro is going to be pitching for the Indians on Sunday. So Brett Butler will lead off for the Tribe here in the first inning. He'll be followed by Julio Franco, then Mel Hall. Niekro's only win this year in his previous 3 starts coming against Cleveland and Cleveland on the 15th of this month. He went 7 1/3, gave up just 4 hits as he beat the Indians. There are the umpires. Darrell Cousins behind the plate. Tim Tashita at first base. Durwood Merrill at second. And Ted Hendry over at third base. Tashita taking Jim Evans' place. Evans a crew chief, but he has an eye irritation. And he will not umpire, I don't suppose, during this season.
No, I don't think so.
Can you imagine what the players are going to say once he gets back?
Oh, he'll take a lot of riding.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Butler. There are no umpires in the American League who wear glasses, right?
No, not. There used to be a couple, but
might be a couple that sneak in some contact lenses, though, huh?
Could very well. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Clark Kent wears glasses.
Who?
Superman.
Oh.
Right, he's no sissy.
That knuckle really dipped down and away from Hassey. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Butler.
You know, if this continues, could be a rough night, and Hassey might not call that knuckleball with men on base. It could cost Niekro.
Watch this thing dip down and away.
Yep, he put his glove down after the ball was by.
So it's 2 balls, 2 strikes on Brett Butler. He's hitting .208 off to a slow start this year for the Indians. Pagliuolo, he will not get him. Butler runs well.
Yep, you got to field that ball cleanly.
An error charge to Mike Palirulo. Here it is again. A lot of English on the ball as he slashes it toward third.
It hit the edge of the infield grass, took a little skip. And even though he's got a strong arm, Butler can get down the line. Now, he hurt the Yankees last night, scored the only run for the Indians, but he shows he can steal those bases when he's able to get on.
Well, he stole one base last night. Here's Julio Franco, the shortstop. Franco 1 for 4 last night, batting .236 overall for the Indians. 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in. He really wraps that bat around his head. Watch him. He'll take it up there and turn it over.
Whoa.
Both Joe and Phil Niekro have excellent moves to first base. We mentioned we'll see Joe out here on Sunday. He'll pitch against Tewksbury. That's out of play. Tomorrow it'll be Ed Whitson against Don Schulze. That's a 1:30 start. Then you've got to turn your clock back an hour, right?
When?
Tomorrow night. Ahead.
Spring forward, fall back. Left-handers,
right.
Jim, do everything opposite.
You didn't even know you're supposed to change
You're
your
right,
watch.
but right-handers wait until somebody tells them.
One strike on Franco.
When do you do this?
Saturday.
Tomorrow night.
Move the clock ahead Saturday night. Daylight savings time.
Oh, you got a note. No wonder you knew it.
They thought that Butler might be going. It's 1-1 on Franco. Now, a lot of managers like to do that after the pitch out. They will put the hit and run on. Let's see what Pat Corrales does here.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Very few people to pitch out.
That's right. They're not
twice
too
in a
many.
row, especially early in a ball game. Niekro just backed off. Last year, Butler stole 47 bases for the Indians. No, he's still with Maury Wills like that. Just hit him as hard as you can on his ankles.
That's right. Slow him down, huh?
Yeah. Beat his ankles up. Runner not going. 1-2 on Franco. He slid back in head first, hit him on the head.
That's some good tricks. They never did that back in my day.
Well, he stole over 100 bases anyway, little rascal.
But he did slide hard, too, didn't he?
No, he didn't slide.
No?
He didn't run especially fast. He just knew the pitchers, got a good jump, and he made a science out of stealing bases. Could be 2. Randolph, Meacham. Double play. 4-6-3.
Now, this is really pretty, the way Randolph gives the ball backhanded to Bobby Meacham. The bat breaks, the barrel goes out. But watch Willie Randolph. He doesn't waste time turning his body. Flips backhand, underhand, and Meacham comes across the bag. Had a little trouble getting the ball out of his glove, but Willie gave it to him so quickly they got Franco.
So quickly, 2 outs. Here's another angle.
Boy, I tell you don't see that very often, that backhand toss.
This is Mel Hall taking a strike. Hall did not play yesterday. He's batting .182, 1 home run, 5 runs batted in. He was in a severe auto accident last year.
Yes, really bad. I know it.
2 strikes on Mel Hall.
It was a tough year for
shopping
Mel.
center of all places.
Oh, hey, listen, that is one of the most dangerous places in the universe, a shopping mall.
Down low, 1-2.
The only good thing about shopping malls is that they have so many nice places to go, like Lou Piniella. Pinella's got a new restaurant, you know, called Winners in the Woodbridge Mall in New Jersey. No, this is a new one, Jim. He's reopening it Sunday.
And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Mel Hall. Joe Niekro trying to pick up his 2nd win of the year.
This is brother watching brother there, Phil Niekro.
You think he's rooting for him?
Oh, well, yes, I certainly do.
What?
I do.
3-2.
I think blood is thicker than water, whatever that means. But if I had a brother playing and he was pitching, I'd root for him.
Right to Randolph again at second base, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left on base. At the end of 1/2 inning of play, the Indians didn't score. The Yankees are coming up.
Burger King presents a crust sandwich to go.
It's a breakfast to go, Joe. You can eat it anywhere, Claire. It's crispy and light. You'll love each bite, so have a crust sandwich to go.
Burger King presents a light, flaky crust sandwich with real eggs and cheese and your choice of ham, sausage, or bacon. You get your pick, Rick.
The taste is Best West. You can have it on your way, Ray. Come to Burger King, the very first thing, and have a crust sandwich to go.
A crust sandwich to go at Burger King. Hurry, it's going fast.
Welcome to a world behind closed doors. A world of miraculous triumphs, murderous failures, forbidden pleasures. The shocking story of a business overrun with greed, blackmail, and ruthless ambition. Pamela Sue Martin, Patrick Duffy, Arthur Haley's Strong Medicine premieres Monday night at 8, only on Channel 11.
Great days are coming to Yankee Stadium.
Hey, Winfield, I think you can use one of these.
What do you mean, lady? It's a beautiful day.
Pepsi Yankee Umbrella Day is April 27th. All fans at the Yankees-Indians game will receive a Yankee umbrella compliments of Pepsi.
So you're supposed to be the big star, huh?
Lady, I'm known for my hitting and my fielding.
Now I know you need this. The heat's getting to you.
The New York Yankees follow the leaders in '86.
All right, defensively for the Cleveland Indians, Pat Tabler at first base, Tony Bernazard at second, Julio Franco the shortstop, and Brooke Jacoby at third base. In left field, Mel Hall, the center fielder Brett Butler, and in right field, Joe Carter. Behind the plate, Andy Allenson, and on the mound, Tom Candiotti. As Candiotti, he's won one and lost one. And he had a lot of strikeouts against the Yankees, Bill, even though he didn't win that ball game.
Well, he had a knuckleball at the bottom, just dropped out of it. Come up there high and it dropped right down over the plate. But the Yankees finally caught up with him around the 5th, 6th innings.
And yet the next time out, he pitched a beauty against Baltimore and beat him.
Shut him out.
Shut him out.
So Candiotti against Ricky Henderson. Bottom of the 1st, no score in the game. It'll be Henderson, then Griffey, and then Mattingly. Henderson up to 271 now. He was 2 for 4 last night. He also stole a couple bases last night. He has a dozen on the year. Strike 1 on Henderson.
Now, what was that? That looked like more like a curve than a knuckleball.
No, that was a knuckler.
Okay, I just said it looked like it now. I wasn't being positive.
Nobody can be with a knuckleballer. That's a foul ball off third. 2 strikes on Henderson.
Now, those first 2 knuckleballs broke the same way. I forget now whether all his knuckleballs break the same.
They seem to. They, at least in Cleveland, they came up and went down.
Yeah,
it's dropped. And he really did a good job the first 4 innings against the Yankees. So it's 0-2 on Henderson. And he's missed it, and he'll go to first base.
Holy cow. Now, that's a strikeout and a... Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Fast ball, huh?
Unless it hit the ground and give him a wild pitch, we'll have to wait and see how Red Foley saw it.
Whoops.
Oh, he should have had that.
Didn't get the tailgate down.
That's right.
So Henderson on at first base. Red might have to go back in the book.
Yeah, this could be a technical call.
Here's Ken Griffey. Griffey batting .341, a home run, 5 runs batted in. Did not play last night. Gary Renicky played left field and made that fine throw to third base to cut down Brooke Jacoby.
Strikeout and a wild pitch. Strikeout.
They're going to call it a strikeout and a wild pitch.
I really don't think that it was a wild pitch. I mean, it was low, but it went underneath the glove. Didn't hit the ground before the glove. Makes it tough on Candiotti because if it runs, that score will be earned. If it were a pass ball, they would not be earned, at least Henderson.
Makes it extra tough on Candiotti with Henderson at first base, and he's throwing that knuckleball.
Got a pretty good move there, White.
Yep.
The old spin job.
Oh!
Whoop.
Almost had him.
Ooh,
Henderson leaning.
He was leaning.
Now all they got to do is throw a pitch out. Of course, Allenson hasn't gotten anybody. He pitched out twice last night. And they missed the runners.
That's right. One he threw high.
Yep.
And one he threw to the side. The
shortstop side. Yep.
Right. Just tough on the batter, Griffey. Now he steps out. You get all tensed up there, ready to hit, and 4 times he throws to first base. I wonder if Henderson can see his hand on the ball as he starts to get set. No, he can't.
Home crowds or something.
They are, because Guidry could throw 8 times over there.
That's what I was thinking. Last night, Guidry threw over there time after time. Nobody said anything.
Right. Boy, he wanted to go that time, and he couldn't pull the trigger.
And Griffey had the third baseman, Jacoby, way back.
Did he start to bunt that ball?
Yep. He started to bunt. That brought Jacoby in a little bit. It's 1 ball, no strikes on Griffey. One and one. The final, Montreal beat the Cubs 4-2 at Wrigley Field. As we look at Henderson at first base, there are no outs. So the Expos for the Cubbies, 2.
Whoa, and Ricky was starting again. It's amazing how he gets back, even though he's leaning towards second.
Had been in Milwaukee, he would have slipped.
Yeah, they would have wet that down.
Yep.
Oh, man. Perfect throw there. Almost slid right into the tag. Yeah, they did quite a job in Milwaukee.
Slowing it down.
Yes.
Every place else in the field was like concrete, except that little area where Henderson's leading off from there.
Good footwork by Tabler. Yeah, you can hear the crowd, but really the kid's doing a good job. Ricky cannot get as big a jump or start as he would like.
See Henderson leading the American League with 12 stolen bases. That youngster, the rookie, John Candiotti with the Chicago White Sox, has 8.
He started off strong, but he's having trouble getting on too.
Yeah. 1 and 1 on Griffey. Bernazard, the second baseman, and that's the first out. Henderson back at first base, and here's Don Mattingly, the Yankee first baseman. 1 for 4 with a run batted in last night. Overall, Mattingly at .306. No home runs, 12 runs batted in. Yankees winning last night. They have now won 11 and lost 4. They're in first place in the American League East. The Tigers are 8-6, 2.5 back. Baltimore and Boston have each won 8 and lost 7. They're 3 back. And the Indians have split 14. They're 7-7. They're 7.5 back, 3.5 back. Then the Blue Jays, last year's champions in the East, 6-9, 5 back.
Oh, did you see that? Ricky was really going to go that time. If he'd have thrown that time, he'd have had him. He had his legs crossed and everything. Watch this.
Whoops. Got to have quick feet in this game.
Oh, you got to.
1 out.
This could set a record for throwing to first base to the same man trying to get him out. Yep. I think he just tied it there, Jim. One more and he'll break the record.
I bet low to Mattingly, ball 1. Mattingly has hit in 6 straight games now. Dave Winfield lost an 8-game hitting streak last night. Willie Randolph extended his to 15 in a row.
Tricky. It is a tricky move.
Mattingly now making Candiotti wait for him. We're still in the bottom of the first. No score here. Now Henderson's going, and he'll make it easily. Stolen base number 13 for Ricky Henderson. Takes quite a while for that knuckleball to get to the plate.
Look at that. Ties Maury Wills for 18th. That did take a long time. The kid makes a good throw. This is the best throw he's made, even though it's a little high. But Henderson, there he gets. He's going full speed right there.
And he doesn't look either way.
He doesn't look.
Right.
It's not too bad. You got those helmets with that protection on the side, but I have seen runners run with their head down to hit and run, get creamed.
1-1 on Mattingly. Bernazard at second base. There are 2 outs as Henderson goes to third.
I was hoping he'd give Ricky a chance to steal third.
Number 12.
Then hit that ground ball.
Number 12.
Oh, with Henderson at third base, 2 down. Ron Hassey's the batter. Hassey batting .208. No home runs. 4 runs batted in this year. Yankees trying to get on the board first here in the bottom half of the first inning. Just missed inside. That was a slider, not the knuckleball. 1 ball, no strikes on Hassey. Tom Candiotti.
And he's taking no chances, Bill. He's pitching from the stretch position. Oh, man, that was close to a balk. The kid had the presence of mind, though, to step back off the rubber. Ricky almost had him flinching a little bit there.
Two balls, no strikes on Hassey. Candiotti was not on the roster this spring. He simply pitched himself onto the ball club and also into the starting rotation. As Tony Bernazard now is going to sort of slow him down. He's saying, don't pay attention to Henderson. He isn't going anywhere. Try to get Hassey out.
That's right. Ricky's not going to try and steal the base. But in the event of a knuckleball that gets away a little bit, he might try to score. But Bernazard had the right idea.
2 balls, no strikes on Hassey. And that's 3-0. No, Candiotti's ball isn't dropping here like it did in Cleveland.
No.
Dave Winfield on deck. And that's ball 4. Ron Hasse walks. The Yankees have runners at first base. That's Hasse, and at third base, Ricky Henderson with 2 outs.
Now, does that mean, White, that he'd rather pitch to Winfield because he didn't throw anything close to a strike to Hasse?
No, I don't think that would be the case. Knuckleball doesn't make any difference. It's going to knuckle up there anyway. Neither one of them. Well, Hasse batting .208, Winfield at .228.
I think Dave would have more trouble with that big swing of his on a knuckleball.
Right now, he's trying to dig him a trench. Look at that. That back foot.
Yeah.
He's anchored in there. Winfield at .228, 1 home run, 8 runs batted in.
Oh.
And that's a ball. This is what happens with knuckleballers. Now, we saw him in Cleveland. He pitched a good game, 4 or 5 innings. Then he shut out Boston. And all of a sudden, he can't find the plate.
Yeah.
Properly atmospheric conditions.
Could be. We've heard that before.
Yeah.
I think it was Baltimore he shut out, wasn't it?
Was it Baltimore? Let me look in here. Anyway, it's 2 balls, no strikes on Dave Winfield. Yep, beat him 7-0.
Okay.
Last Monday night at Cleveland. Struck out 10. And that's 3 balls, no strikes on Dave Winfield. Well, I tell you, you get a guy in this position, knuckleball, you figure he's going to throw that little low slider. And you like to give your batter the green light, but Winfield doesn't like to swing at 3-0.
That's right. He'll take it right down Broadway.
3 balls, no strikes on Dave Winfield. Runners at first and third, 2 outs. Was that a slider or the knuckleball?
No, that was a slider, but he didn't give in.
Well, it's 3-1. It's going to be a fastball inside, isn't it? No, little knuckleball. It's too low, and the bases are loaded. So the Yankees have loaded the bases up on Tom Candiotti and the Cleveland Indians here in the bottom of the first inning. They have 2 outs, and Mike Easler is the batter.
He actually got the first 3 hitters out, but the wild pitch allowing Henderson to get on the strikeout.
Easler batting .238, no home runs, 4 runs batted in. That's a strike. Easter's been up 42 times, has 10 base hits. One and one. Time call now. Jack Aker, the pitching coach, walking slowly out toward the mound. He wants a time call, and he wants a catcher out there with him.
All right, while they're going out there, try to settle a young man down. A reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and WPIX, intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game, or any segment thereof without the express written consent of the New York Yankees is prohibited. Now, with a knuckleball pitch, I don't think they count pitches, Bill, do you? Because he's going to throw an awful lot of pitches during the course of any game.
I don't know. We'll have to ask Jim Cott.
He's not knuckle. That's one pitch Cott didn't have.
Yeah, but he was a coach, pitching coach.
Oh, that's right.
With the Cincinnati Reds. I don't think they had any knuckleballers over there, though. 1 and 1 on Easler. And Candiotti works out of trouble. Easter bouncing out 4-3 for the Yankees in the first. No runs, no hits, 3 men left on base. And at the end of one, the Yankees nothing, the Indians nothing.
An important medical survey reveals doctors prefer the relief formula in Rolaids over that in Tums. Rolaids consumes the acid required to bring millions 100% relief, then keeps working to help keep your stomach trouble-free. Choose Rolaids.
When the beard is back, Schick Disposable is always ready. Shave after shave. Gotta get Schick.
Dodge Daytona Turbo Z. It'll be an expressway to your heart.
Now you can get up to $1,000 cash back on all new American-made Dodge cars. Thanks again, America.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Bugs. No, actually, Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, ask for Bud Light.
Yours? No.
Because everything else...
Give me a light.
Showtime! ...is just a light.
All right, as we told you, battle of the knuckleballers. Niekro having the better of it so far. A little better control than Candiotti. But still no score, Bill.
And Andy Thornton will lead off for the Indians here in the second inning. Thornton went 2 for 4 last night, and he drove in the Indian run. He also did not score on a single. A very rare play. You don't often see that.
No. But I think Billy Martin, you know, said that Jacoby should be at fault, too, for trying to go with 2 out, trying to go from first to third.
No, that's hustle.
No.
Yep.
1 out, it's hustle.
No.
2 out. What's he going to do? Then he got thrown.
He's going to go to third base. That's what he's going to do. The other guy's going to score if he's quicker and doesn't slow down.
You know, between White and Cott, Jimmy Hunter, I'm going to argue with you because I can't win with those 2 huckleberries. Right, Dulio?
You can't win that argument.
Why?
You mean to tell me the runner's going to slow down coming home?
No, I'm talking about Jacoby.
Jacoby's just hustling, trying to go to third base.
That's not... There's such a thing... Whoop.
Ricky Henderson got a late jump, but he's off his glove. And Thornton will pull into second base for the double. Or let's wait for the official scorer's ruling.
Yeah, we'll give him a double on that one. That ball was taken off.
Well, Ricky got a slow start. He really didn't get a good jump on the ball. Ball hit straight at him in center field.
Toughest ball to judge. Joe DiMaggio told me that. And from the master, gets the late start. Then it's like a knuckleball goes up. He gets just the tip of the glove on. Didn't hit him in the pocket. Right, they're just the fingers. And he gets a double.
So Thornton at second base leading off here in the second inning. No score in the game. Brooke Jacoby's a batter. Jacoby's hit in 11 straight games. Went 1 for 4 last night. He's a .385. 2 home runs, 11 runs batted in. That's a foul ball.
Mike Pagliarulo.
How long do you think he's going to wear that number 13?
Not too long. I'm surprised he's even wearing it.
Well, as long as he's hitting in the 100s, I think might think about taking it off.
I would.
Are you superstitious?
Very. Very much so. I know you're not supposed to be, Jimmy Hunter, but I am. Can't help it.
Count, no balls, 1 strike on Brooke Jacoby. And 2. That time Jacoby tried to go to right field.
And the ball was moving that way, too. That was a good pitch by Niekro.
Good stop by Hasse.
I guess with nobody on, the catchers let a few go by him. Thornton leads off second. But then with men on, they really get that body in front, right?
Yep. Struck him out with a good knuckleball.
That was a dandy.
First strikeout for Niekro.
Whoa, what's this break? Right over the top. You can't believe it.
Number 10, Pat Tabler.
That'll bring up Pat Tabler, the first baseman.
Number 10.
Tabler's hit in 5 straight games. He's batting .365 with 1 home run, 3 runs batted in. He got a couple of base hits in 4 trips last night.
He was the guy that got the base hit, which Thornton didn't score. Jacoby was thrown out. Over hustling. I ain't going to let him forget that, Hunter.
Now, let me ask you something.
Yes, ask me.
Martin pointed out that Thornton, about 2/3 or maybe 5 strides from home plate, slowed down.
Right.
Now, you're going to tell me that it's the third baseman's fault?
No,
Jacoby
they
forgetting?
equally distributed, maybe more so on Jacoby. What do you think of that?
I wouldn't say anything to Jacoby except good hustle.
You would?
And I would not say anything to Jacoby except, hey, good hustle. You tried.
You would say that?
Yes. Now, the other guy say, hey, you've been around this league a long time, but you've got to run hard all the time because you don't run that well.
That's right.
That's why you really have to run hard.
I agree with you 1,000%. And getting on Thornton, but I don't agree with you, not even 10%, saying Jacoby made a good play and hustled in the third. It's 2 out. How many guys go from first to third on a single or left field, unless they're a Ricky Henderson? You know what I mean? 2 out, stay at second.
Well, you expect, first of all, the guy to score.
Right. Oh, you know what I think might have happened?
What might have happened?
See, I never thought of that till just now that you brought it up. Jacoby probably thought that they wouldn't cut the ball off, that they'd throw to the plate to get Thornton. Okay, so I'll give you 40% hustle for Jacoby.
If we keep talking, you'll finally end up giving me the 100% that I
I'm
desire. It's 2-2 on Tabler. Thornton down at second base, 1 out, no score in the second inning. Meacham, not in time, not in time. And on the play, Thornton goes a third. That'll be an infield hit for Pat Tabler.
That's twice now Bobby's had a little bit of trouble getting the ball out of the glove. And he gets this bounce right here. So Pinella's arguing, but he did beat that out. It's first and third, 1 out.
Right field, number 30.
Let's watch it again here.
No, this is a play where Tabler gets the base hit.
Oh, this is last night's play.
Yeah,
okay.
Dale Berra diving, and now watch Thornton come around third. And right about here, see him slow up? You're right, he should have been digging. And then Berra makes the take, and Dale went up to meet him, as you would mention, and he's called out.
Well, nobody argued on the play either from
No.
the Indian side. So runners first and third for the Tribe here in the second with 1 down, and Joe Carter's a batter, and he takes a strike. He's batting .231, 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in. Carter came from the Cubs a couple of years ago in that Rick Sutcliffe deal. Out of play, 2 strikes on Carter.
One kid brought his glove, caught the ball, and the other kid lost his cap. The Yankee hat fell all the way down. Good thing he wasn't in it, Jimmy.
So Niekro quickly out ahead of Joe Carter. No balls, 2 strikes. Yankee infield looking for 2 here. We're in the second inning, no score. Not much speed on the base pass for the Indians. That's Thornton over third base and Tabler at first. They have both had knee problems and knee operations.
I think with a knuckleball pitcher, and I were an infielder, I'd cheat a couple of steps in. They hit a lot of balls off the end of the bat, slow rollers.
Struck him out. First base is occupied, so although the catcher has to drop the ball, doesn't have to tag Carter, and they're 2 outs.
Oh, man, that ball went down. It got underneath the glove, but Hasse was able to keep his legs there and shin guards to block it, kept it from going back to the wall and a run scoring.
He looked like, what's that goalie for the Rangers? Van what?
Van Beesbrook.
Yeah.
All right, White, I'm surprised you know. You know all the Philadelphia Flyers.
I know. Here's Tony Bernazar, the switch hitting second baseman at 261. And finally the ball gets away from Hasse, and Thornton will score, and Cleveland leads 1-0.
That's a tough break there, but that's going to happen. It won't be the last one that gets by the catcher tonight for either side. Let's watch it.
Whoops.
That's a pass ball there. He did not get his glove down. That really broke.
So they count 1 ball, no strikes on Bernazar. It's always a danger with the knuckleball pitch.
Yep.
Runners in scoring position at third base. Ball dancing around.
That was a pass ball, by the way, so if Niekro gets this guy out, it's not an earned run. Oh, again. Hasse does not seem to concentrate like Weiniger does, and it's tough. I don't care. Weiniger surprised me. He does a great job catching, but you really got to follow that ball all the way. And you see Hasse had his eyes out towards Niekro, and the ball hit off the webbing of the glove.
2 balls, no strikes on Bernazar.
Oh, boy.
Got hit on the backswing.
Yep.
Hasse hit on the left wrist as Bernazar swung and missed and went around with the bat.
Looks like he got him on the elbow.
Elbow?
Yeah.
It's 2-1.
Let's watch this.
Whoa.
Yeah. Ugh. Boy, he really came around. Bernazar does that all the time. He did it last night about 5 times. Oh, he steps out of the box just as the pitch is ready to pitch.
3 balls and a strike on Bernazar.
Looks like Hasse's trying to catch butterflies out there.
Randolph with a fine catch on the line drive, and the side is retired. 1 run, 2 hits, a man left, and a fine play by Randolph. We're going to the bottom of the second. The Indians 1, Yankees nothing. Let's pause for station identification.
Come be together at Disney. These are times you'll always treasure. Now your dreams come true. Golden days that last forever, shining just for you. Feel the joy that's all around you. Share the dream come true. Together at Disney.
WPIX, New York.
If you just ask for a light beer,
I'll have a light.
You never know what you'll get.
That's me packing the car. Best vacation ever. Here's Rock City, Texas, L.A., all in 3 days.
Bud Light.
Here I am in Death Valley. That's me looking for water.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste,
Wait, there's more.
ask for Bud Light, because everything else
Give me a light.
is just a light.
That's me packing the car. Best vacation.
All you gotta do is smell the morning, splash on Old Spice. Now you're moving, isn't it nice? Up and at 'em, don't think twice. Pour out a handful, splash on some Spice.
Nobody sends more guys out there alive and awake than unmistakably masculine Old Spice.
Now you're moving, don't think twice. Splash on the feeling, splash on some Spice.
Your game, follow
Reminder fans, Sunday, Yankee Umbrella Day. All fans receive a Yankee umbrella, compliments of Pepsi-Cola. They'll be playing the Indians at 1:30. Pitching matchup is a dandy. The veteran Phil Niekro and the rookie Bob Tewksbury. So good seats available. Yankee Umbrella Day Sunday at 1:30.
All right, Scooter. Mike Pallirulo leads off here against Tom Candiotti, playing the bottom of the second with the Cleveland Indians leading 1-0. And a strike. Pallirulo batting at 163, 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in. He'll be followed by Willie Randolph and then Bobby Meacham as we're at the bottom third of the Yankee batting order. 1-1. Yankees loaded the bases up in the first inning off Candiotti. Henderson struck out, but when the ball got through the catcher, Andy Allenson, he went on the first base. Set today in 1967. Whitey Ford.
I didn't get all that. That was on there so quickly. Anyway, he beat Tommy John. There it is. Yep, on this day in 67.
That's a foul ball. Victory number 236.
Yep.
And his last?
His last.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Pallirulo.
Jimmy Hunter said his last 2 wins of his career were over Tommy John when Tommy was in the American League before he had the operation.
Where is Tommy John, by the way?
Well, last I heard, he was down in Hollywood, and he was what do they call that? Yeah, what do they call that insurance? What do they call that, Cotton?
Rehab.
You're there for some kind of insurance.
Rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation.
3-2. And ball 4 just missed high. Pallirulo walks. That's the 3rd walk given up by Candiotti. And here's Willie Randolph, who made a fine grab of a line drive off the bat of Bernazard to get Niekro out of trouble at the top of this inning. And here it is again. There's Bernazard ripping that ball to Randolph's right. So Willie Randolph working on a 15-game hitting streak. 1 for 4 last night. Got an infield hit. He's batting at .328. He has no home runs this year. 6 runs batted in. White Sox lead the Tigers 1-0 in the 3rd. Right here, the Indians lead the Yankees 1-0 in the 2nd. A 1-1 on Randolph. The Indian run scoring on a passed ball. Thornton scoring from 3rd base. Now time is called. One ball, 1 strike on Randolph. That's the right fielder, Joe Carter, almost overran that ball.
Oh, boy, he hit that ball hard. For a second, looked like it was going to drop in, then looked like it was going to go over his head.
Well, Carter, I don't think he's going to win a Gold Glove this year.
Nope. No, Willie went with that beautifully. He comes running in now, Cotton. You'll see how he has to leap.
Oh, that's the first out here in the 2nd, and the batter now is Bobby Meacham, the Yankee shortstop. He's batting .234 with a run batted in. Strike 1. Meacham played all last year for the Yankees, played parts of 83 and 84. Came into this year with a lifetime batting average of .233 in the big leagues. As we look at Pallirulo at the first base, he's not a threat to steal, but you can never tell about Lou Piniella.
Now he might try to hit and run with him. course, he let Hasse go in Kansas City.
There's one. I don't know if he touched up at second base, but they do turn the double play, 1-6-3. Looks like Franco might have skipped over the bag. No runs, no hits, nobody left. At the end of 2, Cleveland 1, the Yankees nothing.
This is an independent news break.
Good evening, I'm Brad Holbrook. A dramatic rescue in New Jersey. A 21-month-old baby was freed after being trapped for 3 hours in a 15-foot deep hole. More incidents of terrorism. An American embassy worker in North Yemen has been shot. Arthur Pollock is listed in stable condition tonight. And in France, an executive of the Black & Decker company has been shot and killed. We'll have complete details on INN after the Yankees game.
What's happening? The world-famous MetLife representative is adding new recruits to his prompt payment squadron.
You mean the one that makes sure MetLife claim checks get delivered promptly?
Yes, it's very important.
Snoopy is really getting tough with his new recruits, isn't he?
Only the best will do for MetLife customers.
What happens to the birds who don't make it into the prompt payment squadron?
They go into advertising.
Get Met, it pays.
All right, the Yankees trailing 1-0. We go into the top of the 3rd inning. And catcher Andy Allenson will lead it off.
Allenson batting at .421. No home runs, 6 runs batted in. He's 0 for 5 against the Yankees so far this year. And that's a ball. Good-looking youngster. Andy Allenson took over the Cleveland Indian catching job. Looks like he'll be around a while if nothing happens. It's 2-0.
Very seldom, though, can you carry a catcher without power.
Well, why?
I know it's just tradition.
If he hits 400, he can play for a lot of people without power.
Yes. All right.
2-1.
Another Wade Boggs, huh? All right.
Aren't too many catchers around here now with power.
No, you're right there. So we'll start all over again.
Yeah. Yogi's gone.
Yep.
Munson, the late Thurman Munson. Elston Howard, the late Ellie Howard.
That's right.
Pitch you 20 home runs a year. Ted Simmons used to do that. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Allenson.
I guess Gary Carter, well, Carlton Fisk last year had a great year.
But at least over in the American League, there aren't too many power-hitting catchers anymore.
No, a lot of good defensive catchers, but like Bob Boone.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Andy Allenson. Pagliarulo backing up again. This time he makes a play. 4 out, number 1.
He does back up a lot, Pags. He's got that great arm, but boy, it's a lot tougher backing up. Got to play him like Pepper Martin. Charge him, bounce off your chest, pick it up. And this kid Allenson, as we watch Pags, a tough play. If that had stayed down a little more, he wouldn't have got it. At Allenson, 420 at-bats at Richmond. Had no homers. Richmond in the minor leagues.
Got the International League?
Yes.
Brett Butler got on an error by Pagliarulo in the 1st inning. 1-0 Cleveland. We're in the 3rd. 1 out, nobody on. Same league Columbus is in, right?
That's right. They're the ones that beat Columbus. No, that was
Tidewater.
Tidewater.
That's your
right.
favorite town, Tidewater. Pagliarulo pounding the glove, and there are 2 outs.
Well, not really Tidewater, but Norfolk, which is just
your favorite town.
Yes. It's not really my favorite town, but I spent a lot of time there.
Well, you did, I understand that in '81 you did a game from down there.
Oh.
And you did not speak too highly of the hotel you stayed in.
Oh, my. I'm telling you, Roach City. Oh, if I couldn't sleep. I stood on top of the dresser all night. I'm not kidding you.
Franco takes the strike. Julio Franco's been up once, bounced into a double play. Franco batting .232. It's 1-1. Boy, last year he was batting in the 400s early.
Unbelievable. He messed himself up here, remember? He jumped the club or something. He got lost for a few days.
He pulled a Rizzuta. 2 balls and a strike on Julio Franco. I tell the people a story when you got lost coming from the radio booth to the TV booth.
That's right, and that happened.
I know it happened. And they're right next door to each other. That's low. 3 balls and a strike. Three and 1 on Franco. How about the night in Minnesota when you got on that new elevator in the press room?
I couldn't believe that. The elevator to nowhere, right? I'd have been there all night if somebody didn't come and get me.
Franco walks with 2 outs here in the 3rd. Just close and didn't go anywhere.
That's right.
You couldn't get out.
Couldn't get out. That's the first walk given up by Joe Niekro, but both pitchers have thrown a lot of pitches in the first 3 innings.
Here's Mel Hall. Bounced to Randolph in the 1st inning. We're in the 3rd, and Cleveland leads 1-0. There goes Franco. And it's a strike on Hall.
That's dangerous right there. That a little bit the way Gibson was injured for the Tigers when he went back to first base and thought about sliding, then jumped back in. His foot hit the edge of the bag, turned over, and he could be out for 6 weeks.
How about Guerrero?
Oh, that was awful. That was almost as bad as Theismann getting that broken leg in football when Lionel Taylor fell on his leg. Not intentionally.
1 ball, 1 strike on Hall.
Lawrence Taylor. What did I say, Lionel?
That's close enough.
There was a Lionel Taylor, right? Somewhere in this universe there's a Lionel Taylor.
Lionel Taylor, that was a guy in the old AFL, the old
See, I remember
All-American. Where is he?
I remember the old guys with Kansas City, right?
Yeah, it was Nin.
And then tremendous end.
Yeah. In fact, I believe he's a coach for the Rams now.
Oh, yeah?
He coaches the ends for the
so I wasn't too far off. Lionel Taylor. I mean, Lawrence Taylor is an end, right? Defensive.
No, he's a linebacker.
A linebacker. Let's stick to the game. Let's stick to baseball, what I know.
3 balls and a strike on Mel Hall. And you argue with me all the time.
Yes, I do, but sometimes I got to give in. This time I give in. I never knew that you did broadcast football games, oh, White. That is...
Whoa! Now he's going to try for 3rd. Franco, and he'll make it there. Went slid into second base, got up alertly, went on the 3rd. And they're going to have to give somebody a wild pitch or a pass ball here, too.
Yep. Let's see. Oh, that's another pass ball. Yep.
That allows him to go to 3rd. This is where the pass ball comes in.
He gave him a wild pitch. I can't believe that. That sounds like Maury Allen, doesn't it? Is that Maury Allen, the official scorer?
What's the record for pass balls? 4?
Gus Triandos had it, yeah. Well, I don't know whether it's 4. It could have been more. Don't forget, he caught Wilhelm that night. I remember that game.
This is Andy Thornton double and scored the Indian run in the second inning. Runners at first and third, 2 down here in the third. Cleveland 1, Yankees nothing.
Maury Allen is the official scorer. I knew it wasn't Red Foley because Red comes right out with the right call all the time.
That's high, 1-1. Franco at third, Hall at first, 2 outs.
This is a tough spot. He loves to throw the knuckleball, and yet he's got to be a little leery because of Hasse.
Tim? 1-2.
Not Tim.
Timid.
No, leery of throwing a knuckleball, not...
Phillies leading Pittsburgh 4-0 in the third. Mets playing later on in St. Louis. They won last night in extra innings over the Cardinals. Now the runner's going. And the side is retired on the strikeout. No runs, no hits, 2 men left on base. Bottom of the third coming up. Cleveland 1, Yankees nothing.
Running smooth and silent. Exxon, Exxon. Running strong and sure. Exxon, Exxon. Running smooth and easy. Running with the tiger.
When you buy Exxon gasoline, count on the convenience of your Exxon credit card or pay cash and save with Exxon's discount for cash.
Running smooth and easy. The tiger. Exxon.
No other taste attracts so much attention. Diet Pepsi, you gotta be the most refreshingest invention. See that smile, see that look. Diet Pepsi is all it took. Diet Pepsi, have I mentioned? You gotta be the most refreshing invention. No other taste attracts so much attention.
Great days are coming to Yankee Stadium.
At the end of 5, there's still no score. Lady, I'm announcing a ball game.
Ball game? I've heard more talent on the Gong Show.
WABC Yankee Radio Day is May 4th. All fans at the game will receive a Yankee Radio compliments of WABC Talk Radio 77.
So you're the announcer, huh?
Yep, that's right.
Well, here's a tip, Sonny. Don't quit your day job. You're in trouble.
The New York Yankees follow the leaders in 86.
Oh, you can get all of them, but it's tough. All right, the Yankees need 1 to tie. And they got the men coming up. Henderson, Griffey, and Mattingly, Bill.
Well, Henderson struck out in the first inning, but when the ball got away from Andy Allenson, Candiotti given a wild pitch. He went to first base, stole second, but was left stranded there as the Yankees left the bases loaded in the first inning against Tom Candiotti. So here's Henderson batting for the second time in the game. Toronto playing at Baltimore, no score there in the second. In the fourth now, Chicago 2, Detroit nothing. And right here, as Phil mentioned, 1-0 Indians in the third. A lot of stars getting hurt.
Oh,
Mike
boy.
Boddicker with the Baltimore Orioles, Mario Guerrero with the Dodgers.
Gibson, we mentioned, with
Gibson
the Tigers.
With the Tigers, yep. That's low, 2-0. Candiotti's walked 3, struck out 1. Two balls and a strike on Henderson.
Allenson does a pretty good job of pulling the ball. Ricky didn't believe that, but
he has said he will not talk to umpires anymore on balls and strikes.
It's a good idea because you can't win anyway. Give him a look. Ooh.
2-2. Straightaway center, and Brett Butler's out there. 1 out. And the batter now is Ken Griffey. He popped to second in the first inning. Well, Rizzuto, any surprises so far this year in the standings?
Yes, I think it's quite a bit of surprise in the standings. That Houston, well, in the National League, Houston is definitely a surprise. And in the American League
Giants,
East,
Wade, don't forget the job Roger Craig's doing early with the
tied
Giants.
for first. You're right.
Yep.
See, I don't worry about the National League. Actually, I don't even think about them. The only time I think about them is when the All-Star break comes, and then when the playoffs and the World Series arrive. So getting back to the big leagues in the American League, well, out west, Texas is a good surprise. Oh, Texas and Oakland, Bobby Valentine managing at Texas.
1-2 on Griffey. How about this team here that's 4-10 in the American League West?
That is a disappointment, a surprise in reverse. Yes, absolutely.
They've got 2 or 3 pitching coaches, 2 or 3 hitting coaches.
I know that the Hawk really went out and got all the veterans.
It's a fair ball. Tabler will take it himself at first base, and there are 2 outs.
In the East, it's not too much a surprise. Maybe Toronto being 6-9. It's early in the year, though. Actually, if you want to say it's a surprise, the Yankees getting off to this great start, which has been unusual.
Yankees won 11-15. Here's Don Mattingly. He's been up once and bounced to second, and he takes the strike. Don't forget that Sunday is Yankee Umbrella Day. All fans receive a Yankee umbrella, compliments of Pepsi-Cola. Into left field, long run for Mel Hall, but he'll get there, and that'll retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. The Scooter and Kitty Cat will take you the rest of the way. On a Dodge scoreboard, the score at the end of 3, Cleveland 1, Yankees nothing.
If you just ask for a light beer,
give me a light.
You never know what you'll get.
No. What I wanted. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, ask for Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
I've always been afraid of 2 things, flying and good cameras. But with this Canon T70, I'm not afraid. This push-button T70 is so easy to use, I can even get the tough shots, like backlit shots. Stop, take action shots, bang! I can even use a zoom, boom!
The Canon T70, so advanced it makes the tough shot simple.
I'm fearless now. Ooh.
Canon, the official camera of the New York Yankees.
Right now, your Dodge dealer has it all. With low-fat refinancing or up to $1,000 cash back on every new 1986 U.S.-built Dodge car and full-size truck in stock. Get an unbeatable 6.8 or 500 cash back on versatile Dodge Omni. Or get 9.9 or 1,000 cash back on Dodge Lancer ES. Unbeatable 6.8 or $1,000 on rugged Dodge Ram Chargers and full-size vans and wagons. That's right, low financing or up to 1,000 cash back. The Dodge dealers have it, but not for long. So if you're going to buy, see your dealer today.
All right, we're back, and Jim Carter's back with us.
Well, Scooter, there we get a look at some of the action tonight around the American League. A lot of scoreless ties. Boston, Kansas City, Toronto, Baltimore. California 1-0 lead over Minnesota. The White Sox 2-zip over the Tigers in the 4th. And the Indians 1-zip over the Yankees in the 4th.
All right, and here's Jacoby. Takes the strike. Jacoby struck out his first time up. Weird ball game. We said going to be a lot of knuckleballs tonight. Both of them short. Swing and a miss, strike two.
You know, when you were playing a game with this kind of tempo, did that bother you?
Oh, yes.
You know how slow this game is moving? That's got to be tough on infielders and outfielders.
I think the infielders more so than the outfielders. You know, in the infield, you're on your toes every pitch. Struck him out. I'll tell you.
There's the National League scores. Mets and the Cardinals scoreless. Phillies came up with 5 over the Pirates. West Coast games later. Cincinnati, Houston, nothing in the first. And the Cubbies went down in 11, 4-2 to the Expos.
All right, the Cubs had won 3 in a row after a terrible start, and they lost that extra inning game. Here's Tabler 1 for 1, singled in the second. Four strikeouts now for Joe Niekro. But we were saying in the infield, you're on your toes for each pitch, then it's ball one, and then you go back. All of a sudden, the calves of your legs start tightening up. Foul upstairs and out of play.
Well, and you know, that's the reason, like when Fergie Jenkins and Catfish, guys like that pitched, you'd see a lot of great plays, and people would say, why do they make those great plays behind those pitchers? One of the reasons is that fielders are on their toes, or they know there's going to be some action, right?
You're absolutely right, Jim. Great point, because every time Whitey Ford pitched, or Eddie Lopat, the ball was always over the plate, and the way you pitched, too. Not that I ever played behind you, but you get the ball over, you're ready. The ball's going to be hit, or they're going to swing and miss it. Deep to left center. Holy cow. Henderson gets back on the warning track to make the... Whoa! Any other ballpark that's gone, I believe.
Well, that's where Yankee Stadium forgives a pitcher for his mistakes, unlike any other ballpark.
You're right, Jim. Death Valley.
See, that just dropped in right over the heart of the plate. You get a look at Henderson from the center field camera right here with plenty of room. See, it's 411 feet right about where he caught the ball. You see the sign. A normal ballpark, that would be about 380, and that's a home run.
Wow. They used to call it Death Valley, and it used to be a lot deeper than that, as you know, Jim. They shortened the fences. Swing and a miss by Joe Carter, who struck out his first time up.
And you know, it's interesting to see the Yankee outfielders are accustomed to playing here. Now, Griffey is not overly deep, but I've noticed Mel Hall, he's about 15 feet deeper.
Yep, swing and a miss, strike two. A lot of clubs will come in and you'll say, man, where's that guy playing? And then some of them will be too shallow. Not really in center field. Some center fielders really come in. It's got to be a frightening ballpark when you look up. That's low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 out, nobody on. Indians lead 1-0, top of the 4th.
Now, Niekro's tempo is much quicker this inning. Candiotti's really been dragging.
Yep. Bouncer to third. Pags fires him out. 1, 2, 3 inning. And at the end of 3.5, it's the Indians 1 and the Yankees nothing.
Burger King presents a croissant to go.
It's a breakfast to go, Joe. You can eat it anywhere, Claire. It's crispy and light. You'll love each bite, so have a croissant to go.
Burger King presents a light, flaky croissant with real eggs and cheese and your choice of ham, sausage, or bacon. You get your pick, Rick.
The taste is best west. You can have it on your way, Ray. Come to Burger King. The very first thing, and have a croissant to go.
A croissant to go at Burger King. Hurry, it's going fast.
Great days are coming to Yankee Stadium.
Hey, Winfield, I think you can use one of these.
What do you mean, lady? It's a beautiful day.
Pepsi Yankee Umbrella Day is April 27th. All fans at the Yankees-Indians game will receive a Yankee umbrella compliments of Pepsi.
So you're supposed to be the big star, huh?
Lady, I'm known for my hitting and my fielding.
Now I know you need this. The heat's getting to you.
The New York Yankees follow the leaders in 86.
And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Indians still holding a 1-0 lead in a game that's dragged along here through 3.5. There you got to look at the totals. Tom Candiotti, the Indian right-hander, who comes off his best effort as a big leaguer, Scooter, shut out the Orioles 5 days ago, struck out 10. That's a career high for him.
And he had early against the Yankees, he had a lot of strikeouts.
Struck out 7 in 6 2/3. This game very similar. The game against the Yankees over there, he held them in check until that third time around, and then all the off-speed pitches that he threw caught up with him.
All right, Ron Hasse, the batter. Fastball a little inside. Hasse walked his first time up. This is the kind of game that you'd never know the Yankees didn't have a hit, because there meant a lot of men on. It was like the game Bill Bevins pitched, had a no-hitter with 2 out in the 9th inning, but nobody knew it. Against the Dodgers, ended up losing the game.
That's the one Cookie Lavagetto broke up.
Don't remind me. You had to bring that up, Cott.
He's my first manager.
Who, Cookie?
Yeah.
Where, out in Minnesota?
Washington.
Oh, Washington.
Gave me my first opportunity.
Oh, Cookie was a great guy.
Here you get a look at it. That's a big, slow curve. He throws a knuckleball and a big, slow curve that look very similar, and I think that's one of the reasons the Yankees caught up with him the last game. He didn't mix in a lot of fastballs. There you get a look at it. See that?
Yep.
That's the one you call the lollipop curve.
Yep. 3-0, and that's ball 4. And that's the 4th walk given up by Candiotti. Little huddle with Allenson and Candiotti.
Well, and the percentages say that that will take its toll. I mean, you've seen a leadoff walk right here. The percentages on that are about 85% of the time a leadoff walk scores.
Yep.
And even though the Yankees don't have a hit, when you put 4 men on in 3 innings by way of base on balls, 3+ innings, plus all the pitches he's thrown, it would be quite a surprise if he were to hold the Yankees in check for the entire game. Not to say he can't, but it would be a surprise.
All right, Winfield walked his first time up. And that's a strike. Allenson boxing that ball a little bit, same way as Hasse. I tell you, if Winfield ever laid down a bunt now, he could walk to first. Inside, 1-1. Jacoby playing short left field on him. That's the way they used to play DiMaggio, Jim, and he would never bunt.
Well, Killebrew the same way. I think psychologically, as a pitcher, you wish they would.
Yes. Low, 2 balls and a strike.
And that's part of the inducement there. You try to tease the cleanup hitter into saying, hey, we'll give you the bunt.
That's
but,
right.
If you're the manager, you say, I don't really want my big man bunting.
Double play. Boy, I tell you, that's the pitcher's best friend for sure, especially Candiotti so far tonight here. 6-4-3 double play.
And we'll see whether it's that big slow curve or the knuckleball. That looked like a big breaking ball.
Yes, it was. But that's why I like to see them bunt. I ain't going to start that again with you now. With a guy like this, I mean, you know, you could go 9 innings and say, gee, we should have shellacked this guy. But if you keep walking and hitting in a double play, sayonara.
Yeah, but if you bunt them over with your 4th or 5th hitter and then you don't score and you get beat by a run, then you say, wow, why'd I have my big men bunting? I had a chance to get a 2-run homer. The door swings both ways, right?
Not my door.
I know.
Boy, I think he's boxing that ball, but he held on to it. Strike 1. Easler bounced to second his first time up. I hate guys that always have an answer. Low, 1-1.
That doesn't mean it's the right answer.
2 men are out, and the Indians still lead 1-0. Oh man, that beautiful motion. That knuckleball seemed to break a little bit down and away from Easler. 1-2. And foul. Easler was going to try and sneak to first base.
Oh, we've had one of those already tonight.
Yeah.
If you joined us late, Ricky Henderson led off the ball game. And that ball was ruled a wild pitch, actually, on a strikeout, and he got to first base. That's the inning the Yankees loaded the bases. And Candiotti got out of that jam against Mike Easler with a ground ball to second base.
All right, still 1-2. And almost an excuse me base hit there. Brooke Jacoby at third base. Got to play Easler wide of the bag. Easler doesn't hit that way very often. He laid off, and Allenson thought maybe Easler had gone around.
Candiotti looks like maybe he's picking up some tips from Phil Niekro, because he really changed speeds on that knuckleball. Over in Cleveland, he didn't throw that many real off-speed knuckleballs, but that pitch right there was really a change-up knuckler.
Well, he has said in the paper that Phil Niekro has definitely helped him. Oh, he crossed the catcher up with a fastball, and he beat it out. Now that's a pass ball. I think he crossed it. Jim, that was down the heart of the plate. Well, and Allenson wasn't even ready for it.
I don't know if it was, you think it was a fastball or a knuckleball that just, let's get a look at it. No, it looked like a knuckleball that just didn't, it stayed up.
Didn't do anything?
It stayed up, which looked like a fastball from this angle.
I know it didn't, what I meant was it didn't break or go down, and maybe he was looking for the break, because it hit him almost on the wrist.
Yeah, he'd thrown a couple of those real slow ones, and it looked like Allenson was kind of handcuffed by that one.
So it's a pass ball, and another strikeout. He better not strike anybody out. The two men he struck out have reached first base. Henderson and Easler. So there are two out, and Pagliarulo, who walked the batter. Tabler holding Easler on. There's the first hit of the game, and Easler will go to third. Boy, he almost got himself caught. They gave him a decoy there. He rounded second, made believe he was going to stop, then took off. A good throw by Carter, but Mike just gets in there.
There you get a look at the high curveball, and Pagliarulo's right on it. And as Scooter mentioned, Easler either did a good job of decoying Carter, because he hesitated around second base, or he just wasn't really sure whether to go. And there you'll see he slides in well ahead of the throw. Pat Corrales is going to have a few words to say to Tom Candiotti as you get another look at that throw from Carter to third base. And I think, Scooter, probably what they're talking about right here is he leaves rather quickly. When you were a shortstop, you wanted to know whether the catcher was going to throw the ball through on the steal, or whether they're going to throw it to the pitcher.
Good point. Because one run is going to be a big run in this ball game, the way these two pitches are going. Two out, first and third. And the double play really hurt the Yankees in this inning. Oh, did that break over? See Willie shake his hand as strike one. Randolph line to right field. Easler at third base. There's Piniella.
See Allenson giving some signs right there. That lets the pitcher and the infielders know if Pagliarulo decides to steal, whether they're going to throw it through or hold on to it.
Oh, there's that trick play that I have never seen work. I see they've got a brush back there that in case you get a little mud in your spikes, you want to get it off. One strike on Willie. Whoa. 1-1. Willie has hit in every game that the Yankees have played so far. There's Easler leading at third. Gene Michael, a coach.
He just whispered something to Mike Easler. It'd be interesting to see if the Yankees do try anything here.
He might have said, be alive on a knuckleball that gets away. There's ball 2-1.
So now Candiotti is looking in at umpire Darrell Cousins. Wonders where that pitch is, but anytime you walk this many men and you're behind in the count, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt from the umpire.
No, absolutely. And also, they, sometimes they don't follow that knuckleball all the way. It looks like it's going to be a ball, and they'll call it automatically. 3-1. Pretty close country there. 2 men out. Indians lead 1-0. Bottom of the 4th. Bobby Meacham on deck. And it gets away, and it's going to be tie score. Boy, I want to tell you, that was a close play at the plate. And Allenson and Candiotti really made that close. Tie ball game.
They made it as perfect as you could make it, and Pat Corrales wants to give Darrell Cousins a piece of his mind. I
don't blame him.
Easler did make it, but watch Allenson hustle on this ball. He really hustled after the ball and made a perfect throw to Candiotti. He did his job by covering the plate.
Yep, he was
he
safe,
just
but
gets under the tag.
Great call, and great hustling by Candiotti and Easler, and he did tag him high. Good call by the plate umpire. So that's got to be a pass ball. That one again almost hit him on the wrist. Nevertheless, the score is tied. Pags goes to second. Randolph is at first base on the walk. Easler scores. And the batter now, Bobby Meacham, who hit into a double play his first time up. 2 out. Ball 1.
There's one of the few fastballs we've seen. You know, when's the last time you saw a rally started with 2 out on a strikeout?
That's right. Well, they scored their run on a ball that got away from Hasse, and the Yankees scored their run on a ball that got away from Allenson. 2 balls, no strikes. And we mentioned the fact that both men that Candiotti has struck out have reached first with the ball getting away from the catcher. Sweet Lou sits down. He's not had too many laughers, Jim. Piniella.
Been some tight ones.
Yeah. So the scoreboard, 1 run, 2 hits for the Indians, 1 run, 1 hit for the Yankees. 3-0. And that ball got away from Allenson. I tell you, you don't appreciate a good knuckleball catcher, if that's the right terminology, until you see, you know, the exhibition that is going on tonight with Allenson and Hasse.
Well, they're breaking this kid in right with Candiotti and Phil Niekro.
I'll see. 3-0 on Bobby Meacham, and Henderson on deck. Strike 1, 3-1.
That was kind of interesting, the strategy, the pitch before that. Here you have the number 9 hitter in the lineup, hitting .234 coming into the game, and he curved him on 2-0 with Ricky Henderson coming up next. That might be a little sign of inexperience right there with catcher and pitcher.
Did very well. See, he doesn't fix the ball till he gets it in the glove. Strike 2. Now that time, what was that? That took a little bit off on the knuckle or a curve, either one, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. The runners will be going.
There you get a look at the pitch. Catches the outside part of the plate, according to umpire Darrell Cousins.
All right. Full count, and if Pags gets a good jump and the ball gets by Allenson, he could score from second. This could be the Yankees' best play of the night. There they go, and he hits a base hit, and he's going to score. Holy cow! You know, that ball was right in on his hands, Jim. And the Yankees lead 2-1. I thought it was by Meacham when he swung. Big base
there you
hit.
get a look at it. He didn't hit it good, but see, when you go to 3-2 on a hitter and you have to come in with a fastball, obviously you can get a lot better chance of getting wood on the fastball than you would on that knuckler or slow curve. There's another example of why it's so important for a pitcher to get ahead. As there you see Pagliarulo score the lead run for the Yankees here in the 4th inning.
Tough break for Candiotti. Should have been out of the inning. But the Yankees have picked up 2 runs. They lead 2-1, and the batter now, Ricky Henderson. Ricky has struck out, got on with a wild pitch, stole a base, and fly deep to center. Randolph at second. Meacham over at first. Ball 1. Jamie Easterly out in the bullpen, Jim, another left-hander.
He's the lefty they go to in the middle of the ball game when they're in trouble.
Look out, holy cow, that was a knuckleball at Henderson glaring out at Candiotti, but that was one, you know, even the pitcher doesn't know exactly which way that knuckleball's going to break.
Yeah, that really wasn't meant to be a knockdown pitch, but like you mentioned, oftentimes a pitcher doesn't even know which way that ball's going. Right now, Candiotti's pressing a little bit with that pitch, too. He's had some tough luck this inning, and he's also not had very good control.
Popped him up. And Julio Franco, the shortstop, makes the catch. But the Yankees pick up 2 runs on 2 base hits, no errors. They lead 2. And at the end of 4, it's the Yankees 2 and the Indians 1.
This is an independent news break.
Good evening, I'm Brett Holbrook. President Ronald Reagan is in Los Angeles tonight, the first leg of his trip to Tokyo. As he left Washington, the president said he hopes the economic summit will strengthen our economic, strategic, and political ties with our allies. A beautiful weekend coming up. Sunny skies, temperatures in the 60s or 70s, both Saturday and Sunday. And about 1,000 people attempt to break the Guinness Book of World Records for Twister. Complete details after the game.
And back for the top of the 5th with a long inning for the Yankees in the bottom of the 4th. After the first 2 were retired, walk and a double play, they started to rally with the strikeout. Pass ball by catcher Andy Allenson, and before the inning was over, they had 2 runs. Niekro now begins the 5th.
All right, Tony Bernazard bluffs the bunt, takes a pitch, low ball 1. He hit a bullet to Willie Randolph, who made a fine play.
This game's kind of like watching paint dry so far. Isn't it?
It's not too exciting. And there's a base hit slapped the opposite way. So Niekro tried to slip the fastball by him, but
as you mentioned, Bernazard hit the ball hard the first time up. Randolph made a fine play, so he stung the ball twice.
Yep.
Got 1 base hit to show for it.
All right, here's Allenson, who bounced to third his first time up. He's really looking down at Johnny Gorel, coaching at third base. There's John.
He brought that up earlier about his minor league stats. Kind of unusual for a guy 6'5". He's never hit a home run.
Look at that. No, you're right. Bill and I had talked about that, as you mentioned, but that's the play that I like, the run and bunt.
Now, they started the runner on that play, so even if Allenson had bunted through it, I'm sure Corrales was gambling on a knuckleball. He might have been tough to throw out.
So it's 1 strike on Allenson, and Johnny Gorel giving the signs. Bernazard, good base runner. Mattingly holding him on. See, Mattingly still has that thumb tape, the one he injured down in spring training. Strike 2. That time Bernazard did not go. And Niekro steps back off the mound. Rather off the rubber. And it gets away from Hasse. And Bernazard will go to second. Man, I tell you, they're going to set some kind of record here tonight with fast balls and wild pitches. Have to wait and see what they call that one. Hasse's already got 2 pass balls. And that's going to be 3. Hit the glove before it hit the ground, although got to wait for Maury Allen, who was the official scorer tonight.
These kind of games are even tough on the official scorer.
Yes. Number 3, pass ball. And a bouncer to third. Pags has got it. And And throw. That's a break for the Yankees there as he throws Allenson out, and Bernazard cannot advance.
Center fielder.
Of course, with 2 strikes, Allenson would like to hit the ball the other way, but anytime you're facing a knuckleball pitcher, it's pretty hard to wait on that ball and go the other way. There you get a look at some of the hops that Pagliarulo's had about 3 really in-between hops down there tonight. Instead of even the ball hops funny off knuckleball pitchers as well as to the catcher.
It does. And Pags has been charged with 1 error as he bobbled one of them. Here's Brett Butler. Reached on the error by Pags, leading off the ball game, and then popped to Pagliarulo. Ball 1. Pags is in, as you can see, on the edge of the infield grass.
You know, we talked about how deep they play cleanup hitters to try to get them to bunt, and there's an example of how you play a guy like Butler shallow to try to keep him from bunting.
Yes. And Griffey's shading him over in left field, shallow and near the line, and you saw Meacham that time put his hand up and break behind, but a slow turn by Joe Niekro. Bernazard back.
You like the daylight play, or you like to have a set sign?
No, I like the daylight play.
We'll explain that in a minute, what the daylight play is.
Nice stop that time by Hasse.
Runner on second base. The pitcher and the shortstop oftentimes have a sign when the shortstop breaks behind the runner and you peek out of the corner of your eyes. You get a look at Ron Hasse there and that fine stop he made. You peek out of the corner of your eye and see daylight between the runner and the shortstop. You wheel and throw.
Yes, sir. A lot of guys like the count play, where you have a set pitcher turns towards home, counts to 2. Strike. 2-1. Meanwhile, the shortstop breaks on 1, and he is moving. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Oh, and it gets away from Hasse again. He better hurry. And Bernazard had an idea and then went back. And we're going to have to wait. This one could have been a wild pitch. From here, it looked like it hit the ground first. Let's see.
We'll get a look at it right here. You'll see the bottom fall out of it.
Yeah, that's a wild pitch.
Did hit the ground first.
Yep. So, 3 pass balls, 2 wild pitches.
Looks like about every other one we're going pass ball, wild pitch.
That's right.
If it hits in the dirt, most of the time, of course, the scorer will call it a wild pitch. Catcher lays leather on it, it'll be a pass ball.
Right. The infield is in. 3-1 count. Strike 2, and he slipped the fastball by him. Full count on Butler.
Now, this is tough on Joe Niekro's thinking also, because knuckleball's his bread and butter, but obviously he doesn't want to continue to throw it if he feels Ron Hasse's going to have trouble containing it, and Ron has not caught that many knuckleballs.
Nope. I take my chance with a fastball here on Butler. He did, and he popped it up, but it's going to come back in the seats.
If you're a hitter now and you want to take a guess, you can almost, that's a pretty good percentage guess that you'll get a fastball to hit, because with a runner on third base there and the trouble we've seen with the knuckleball, chances are Joe's going to say to himself, I've got to challenge this hitter in this situation.
Yeah, I would too, because the percentage is against Butler getting a base hit or even hitting the ball too deep to let the runner score. And that's out of play. Back in the seats and out of play. Another fastball. And he's not having a good cut. He's just trying to protect the plate. Pagliarulo.
Well, and the Yankee infield, of course, is drawn way in here for the play at the plate as you get a look at it. Most managers with no outs, they'll play maybe halfway or a little deep, but with 1 out, they'll bring the infield in and try to cut that man right there, Tony Bernazard, off at the plate.
All right, Niekro will do it again. Yankees lead 2-1 here, top of the 5th. He walked him with a high, hard one. And that's the 3rd walk given up now by Niekro. That'll bring up Julio Franco, who's bounced into a double play and walked.
And now Randolph and Meacham will move slightly back instead of playing for the play at the plate, they'll play for the double play ball.
Yep. It is starting to drip a little moisture here. Had a weird rainstorm in the late afternoon. First, I thought they were going to call time and put the tarpaulin on. The whole infield started running in.
Well, this is that play we talked about last inning with the Indians. See, Pagliarulo went over to Niekro and told him what the sign was, that if Butler tries to steal, they know now whether Hassey's going to try to throw the ball through or whether he's going to maybe hold up and try to pick Bernazard off third base.
All right. One man out. Ooh, he had a good rip at that. Fouled it back. Strike one. Weird weather here this year all over the country. Bernazard at third. Butler at first. And Julio Franco the batter. Still only one out. Foul out of play. Nothing in two. Joe Niekro. 1-0 on the year.
Well, the Indians have the number 9 hitter from last year as far as run production. 181, he ranked 9th. That's RBIs and home runs.
A little low. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Take that back. It's RBIs plus runs scored and minus home runs. You come up with your run production. Mattingly led that, 217. Franco was 9th with 181.
All right, 1 ball, 2 strikes. I'm a little surprised that Corrales is not sending Butler. There he goes, and he struck him out, and he bluffed the throw, so they definitely were not going to throw through. And that's why I figured I was a little surprised that Corrales not sending Butler to second base. Got a big strikeout. Number 5 for Niekro. Stolen base for Butler, even though he didn't throw through. Mel Hall has bounced to second and walked. Yanks still lead 2-1. And a bounce to the second. Uh-oh, Mattingly went over, flips the Niekro. He dropped it. And a throw. You could see that happening all the way. 2-run score, and the Indians lead 3-2.
Oh, what happens sometime from a pitcher's standpoint, that ball took a real slow hop, and you watch Joe gets off the mound in plenty of time, but if you happen to be running on your heels and that ball's kind of bobbling up and down on you, you try to find the bag and the ball at the same time, and he found the bag, but he just did not keep his eye on the ball.
Nope. I said, oh, right away, because I was hoping Mattingly wouldn't go after that ball. Those are the kind that cause a lot of problems. We mentioned that when a knuckleballer is pitching, you hit a lot off the end of the bat kind of slowly. And you got to get rid of the ball so quickly. And that quickly right there. And if he'd stayed on the bag, Randolph would have had it easily. And then Willie picks it up, tries to go home, but his hurried throw is high. And the Indians lead 3-2 now.
Well, I think that play right there kind of sums up what this game has been like for 4 2/3 innings here.
Yes.
It has been a comedy of errors.
And Andre Thornton takes the ball. Look at that. 3 runs, 3 hits. Yankees 2 runs, 2 hits. Yankees have committed 2 errors, but it's the pass balls and wild pitches that are really doing the damage. Knocked down by Hassey. It's 2-0. We're in the top of the 5th. 3 balls, no strikes. RBIs for Hall. Ball 4. And that's the 4th walk given up by Joe Niekro. But actually, none of the runs scored off Niekro are earned of the 3 that have scored by the Indians.
And none of the Yankee runs are earned.
And none of the Yankee runs. They were all pass balls, right? Should have been 3 out, right? So a weird ball game, and all the runs of the 5 runs only been 1 RBI, and that was by Bobby Meacham. Brooke Jacoby has been up twice, struck out both times. A bouncer foul. And that's what happened. That's the kind of swing as we look at the brain trust.
Sammy Ellis and Lou Piniella working that gum, and a game like this will make you do that.
Yep. Who's that doing the leaning?
That looked like Dennis Rasmussen.
All right.
Stretching his arm out for his next start.
Sunday is not only Yankee Umbrella Day, free umbrella from Pepsi, but Phil Niekro and Bob Tewksbury is a matchup. Nice block by Hasse again.
And don't forget, when you go home tomorrow night, when you go to bed, set that clock ahead.
Set the clock ahead. You don't have to wait till 2 o'clock in the morning. The way they write it, at 2 o'clock in the morning, set the clock ahead. That's fouled in the upper deck, out of play. Bouncing down below. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 runs in. And the Indians lead 3-2 here in the top of the 5th. There have been some long half innings in this game.
Well, this game is closing in on 2 hours old with a little rain coming down, and we just have 2 out in the top of the 5th inning.
Right. Just got a piece of it off the end of the bat. And it's coming down fairly hard now. We look at the umbrellas. And there's that type of umbrella you're going to get. It's the one they gave away last year. Low 3-2, and that's an advantage for the Indians. They'll be running now.
Now it'll be interesting to see with the way Joe's been struggling with the knuckleball, and Jacoby, good fastball hitter right there. See what he throws him.
Threw him a breaking pitch. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And Sammy Ellis is going to come out and have a little chat, and we're going to get a little stirring around the bullpen, I imagine.
Well, despite the number of base runners in the game tonight, we've only had 1 relief pitcher up. That was Jamie Easterly for the Indians in the Yankee bottom of the 4th.
Well, that's true. They have not had that many hits, as you mentioned, Jim. They only got 1 this inning, but it's a long inning, and they've scored twice. There have been 3 walks, an error.
And I'm sure right now Sammy just trying to sort of change the rhythm of the game right now. Give Joe a little breather, as they say. Sometimes that works. John Montefusco gets up and begins to loosen in the Yankee bullpen. There you get a look at the totals, and that does not show the pass balls and wild pitches.
All right, here's Tabler. And there's the count, as Jim Cott said. Montefusco out there. Tabler has singled and flied to center. And that should do it. Griffey in left field has plenty of room and makes the catch, so they get out of a even tougher jam, but they pick up 2 runs on just 1 hit. There was 1 error, and they leave the bases loaded. At the end of 4 1/2, Indians 3, Yankees 2, and we now pause for station identification.
Imagine your life hangs by a thread.
She requires immediate surgery.
Imagine your body hangs by a wire.
I found the oxygen lining that goes to ORA.
Imagine you're not imagining.
Scalpel, please.
Genevieve Bujold, Michael Douglas, and Richard Widmark. Coma, Sunday on Channel 11.
Society leaving it up to us, the extras. The doctor. The doctor.
Now we move to the bottom of the 5th after the Yankees pick up 2 unearned runs in the bottom of the 4th. The Indians come right back with 2 unearned of their own to move ahead 3-2. All 5 runs are unearned. And to give you a little idea of how this game has gone, Ron Hasse has 3 pass balls and Joe Niekro 2 wild pitches. Allenson has 2 pass balls. Candiotti 1 wild pitch. Both of them knuckleball pitchers, of course, so it is a little more difficult. And each pitcher has walked 5.
No wonder. There's the reason, Jim.
Full moon?
Full moon. All right, Mike Easler. Take that. That's Ken Griffey. And Griffey takes a strike. He thought it was high. Low 1-1.
I'm sure Joe Niekro breathed a sigh of relief to get Tabler out of there last inning with the bases loaded. He's the one with that fantastic bases loaded batting average, 629 coming into this game.
And ripped down the right field line. It's going to be in for extra base. No, foul ball. Holy cow. There's not that much room down there for the ball to go foul.
Well, he had just enough hook spin on it. The hitters call that top hand. When they get that top hand over the bat and that hook spin on the ball, there you get a look at it. See that ball hooking? And it just lands about a foot foul.
Wow. All right, a ball and 2 strikes on Griffey. It's a short. Franco with that one hand. Boy, I tell you, he cuts the pie. And that Tabler came off that bag a little early. 1 away. Franco will not feed. That ball was right at him.
Well, there you see Lou Piniella walking down. He's going to have a little word.
I mean, he's going to let Tabler get away with that. He came off that bag.
Now, see, this is a play right here where Lou knows he's not going to win the argument. What he wants to impress upon Tim Sheeta is that the next time that happens, maybe he'll get the call.
We're going to get a look at it now. The one-hand grab by Franco. And watch Tabler. Oh, boy, I'm telling you, that's the old Gil Hodges play.
And Jim Gentile.
Get another look at it. Franco scoops it up. He's pretty tricky.
They call that the neighborhood play. If your foot's in the neighborhood of that bag, they're going to call him out.
All right.
Same thing at second base on the double play.
Oh, yes, that happens often. That I know. Mattingly's bounced to second, fly to left. Hits one deep to center field. Butler back by the fence. Leaps. He got it. Holy cow. Another foot. And that ball would have been gone. Excellent play by Butler there, Jim. Did not panic. Beautiful play.
Now you get a look at the breaking ball up in the strike zone, and how where Mattingly can extend those arms, and he crushes this ball. Now Butler gets back there, finds the wall, times it perfectly.
It would have been gone. Would have been over the wall. Woo.
Example of the 385 mark versus the 411 mark in left center.
Yep. Hasse has been up twice, walked both times. 2 out, nobody on, and the Indians leading 3-2, bottom of the 5th. Strike 1-1. Butler. So they do hit the ball hard, but right at the center fielder. 3 up, 3 down. At the end of 5, Indians 3 and the Yankees 2.
Want a new way to get your kicks?
Now it goes to St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City.
The Toyota MR2.
You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico.
Mid-engine, 16 valves, 2-seater.
Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino.
Very affordable Toyota MR2.
Get your kicks on Route 66.
It's a kick.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota. This bud's for all that you do.
Carlos, I need 100 of these by Friday.
My friend, I'm retired. My son is running the business now.
Oh. You know just where you're going. It's true, your pride is showing, cause you make America work, and this bud's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This bud's for you.
Great days are coming to Yankee Stadium.
At the end of 5, there's still no score. Lady, I'm announcing a ball game.
Ball game? I've heard more talent on the Gong Show.
WABC Yankee Radio Day is May 4th. All fans at the game will receive a Yankee Radio compliments of WABC Talk Radio 77.
So you're the announcer, huh?
Yep, that's right.
Well, here's a tip, Sonny. Don't quit your day job. You're in trouble.
The New York Yankees follow the leaders in 86.
And we move to the top of the 6th. We have an official ball game, 5 complete, even though it's been a rather lengthy and sloppy one thus far. Indians leading 3-2. Joe Carter to lead off the top of the 6th against Joe Niekro.
See that question? Who holds the Yankee record for the most strikeouts in a season by a batter? I know. Do you know?
No, I don't.
I'm not going to tell you. Connie won't let me tell you till the answer comes up.
I know one record we're closing in on, though, that Harvey Green just informed us, the
What's
Yankee
that?
media relations director.
What is that?
That
Foul
is
back.
We are 1 pass ball away from tying the American League record for pass balls in a single game by both teams. The record's 5. July 28th, back 1970. Ironically, all 5 were by the same catcher, Tom Egan of the Angels, and it was against the Yankees.
No kidding.
Yankees and the California Angels. Tom Egan, who is a big power-hitting catcher, did time with the Angels and the Chicago White Sox.
I would have thought Gus Triandos was involved with that, catching Boyd Wilhelm.
I'm trying to think of who the Angels had that was a knuckleball pitcher back in the 70s, if it was a knuckleball pitcher, or quite often it could be somebody with a big, sharp-breaking curveball. There's our baseball quiz.
RJ. No, Bobby Bonds. I don't believe it. Huh? 137. That's not right. Wow, we got to recheck that.
Well, now maybe.
Could I see that? Wait a minute.
You thought it was Reggie?
Well, I know Mickey struck out more than 137, and I know Reggie struck out more than 137. Meanwhile, that's a walk for Joe Carter. And that's the 6th walk given up by Tony Bernazard. Line to second and single to left. He has scored once.
And he's hit the ball right on the button both times tonight.
Ball 1.
I didn't see the Indians last year, of course, but I thought they showed more, when you look on the field, more team speed. They only have 7 stolen bases this year.
I know they have a lot of speed, but the problem is the fast guys are not getting on.
That can be a problem. They won't let you steal first. You got to hit your way or walk your way onto first. And especially against a knuckleball pitcher, a lot of managers really turn their team loose a little more often.
Oh, yes. That's Carter leading away. And Niekro steps off. Indians leading 3-2 here in the top of the 6th. There goes the runner, and it's foul just to our left out of play.
Some fan made an outstanding play right down below us here. Caught the carom off the screen.
It looks like I'm going to have to apologize again.
You were wrong?
I can't believe it. In the book, in the Yankee press guide, most strikeouts in a season, Bobby Bonds, 137 in 1975.
What'd Casey say? You can look it up.
You can look it up, and that's what I should have done before I opened my big mouth. All right.
Montefiusco and Scurry warming up in the Yankee bullpen. Montefiusco and Scurry.
Oh, he's back.
Montefiusco and Scurry warming up in the Yankee bullpen, and I know Ron Hasse does not wish Joe Niekro any bad luck, but I know it'll be a big relief to both these catchers when they get a conventional pitcher out there.
Well, that's it. It's a nightmare. They'll be jumping all night in their sleep. There goes the runner again. Again it's fouled off. Boy, he's getting some jump. So that's a break for the Yankees both times that Carter has taken off. This could set a record for the most pitchers by pitchers combined in one game, 9-inning game if they both left. How many pitches we should have counted. Base hit, ripped to center field, and that time he was not running, which was another break for the Yankees, because he has to stop at second base. Almost looked like he tried to slip the fastball by him, and he was ahead on the count.
Well, we mentioned the number of pass balls and the difficulty handling the knuckleball tonight, and oftentimes that can play a part in the knuckleball pitcher's thinking. I'm sure Niekro's saying to himself, you know, if I another pass ball and the guy's going to advance, and you have a tendency maybe to slip a few more fastballs in. Sammy Ellis is going to come out and talk to him. And we've said before, when a pitching coach comes out, there's probably three things he's going to talk about, Scooter. He might see something mechanical in Joe Niekro, which I doubt very seriously he's doing. The other thing would be to just give him a breather. And right now, I would say he's probably given Rod Scurry and Montefiusco a little more time to warm up. Plus, the other infielders are in discussing what their defensive strategy is going to be against the bunt.
I think the way it looks now, Allinson's going to sacrifice. If he sacrificed successfully, we might see Scurry pitch to Butler, and then Montefiusco come in for Franco.
The catcher, Andy
Allinson has been up twice, both times bounced to third. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. Top of the sixth, and the Indians leading 3-2.
Well, we'll see if you're right. Mattingly and Pagliarulo way in on the grass, expecting the bunt.
He's got a bunt here. I would stake my reputation. And he takes a strike as he had squared.
Your reputation's still intact.
Luckily. I could have swore Mickey Mantle said, boy, I was glad Reggie Jackson was with the Yankees. He took the strikeout record away from me. Lifetime, he said. Oh, okay. And a bunt. It was a smart play. He tried to bunt the ball hard to third so that Pags would have to come in and field it. Now his count is 0-2. They still might have him bunting.
Well, that's what you're instructed to do as a bunter. Bunt the ball hard to the third baseman in this situation, which obviously leaves third base unoccupied for the man to advance. A lot of teams employ that rotation play where the pitcher will charge toward the line, or the third baseman charge in, and the shortstop will go to third. The Yankees did not put it on that particular pitch.
I hate that play. The fire drill. He's going to try it, and they got him at third. If he makes a good throw, they got him. All right. Nice charge by Niekro, and a good throw. A force play, 1-5.
And there you get a look at Allinson just with 2 strikes trying to make contact, and he bunted the ball much too hard. Carter could not get much of a jump off third, and they have him easily at third base, or second rather.
No, you were right, third base.
No, but I say he didn't get much of a jump off third, but he was on second, Carter. And they threw him out at third. I'm a little confused, just like this entire ball game.
Okay. All right. Butler's 0 for 2. He reached on an error and popped to third. Also walked, stole a base, and scored. And that could be 2. Randolph to Meacham. They got it. Beautiful double play. Willie Randolph has made 2 sparkling starting of double plays. Outstanding. No runs, a hit, no errors, a man left at the end of 5.5. It's the Indians 3 and the Yankees 2.
Bud Thunder is revved up and coming at you.
You have that way of knowing what to do and what to say. The world looks great when I'm with you. The sky is yours alone. I see you smile, I see you care. Singapore girl, you're a great way to fly.
Tickets for all Yankee home games are on sale at the Yankee Stadium advanced ticket windows 7 days a week from 9 to 5. Or to order tickets by telephone, call Ticketmaster at 212-307-7171. Outside New York State, call toll-free 1-800-682-8080 or visit any tri-state Ticketmaster location, including select Record World and James Way stores. For additional Yankee ticket information, you can call the Yankee ticket office at 212-294-6000. Dave Winfield to lead off the 6th inning against Tom Candiotti. Indians still holding a 3-2 margin, and here's the Scooter.
All right, Dave has walked and bounced into a double play. So this is about the time the Yankees went out and got Candiotti out in Cleveland. Ball 1. Hey, well, they're cheering a hockey score. These fans. Two balls and no strikes.
And as you mentioned, this was about the time of the game the Yankees began to catch up with Candiotti the last time, and he is still going to a lot of that off-speed pitches, and this is when the left-hand hitters really capitalized.
All right. Dave didn't like that pitch. Might have curved around the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Oh, that's gone if it's fair way. Oh, man, did he cream that.
That's the 4th straight off-speed pitch that Candiotti has thrown him. There you get a look at the American League scoreboard. Detroit up by 5 over the White Sox. And anytime a hitter sees 3-4 consecutive off-speed pitches, his chances of timing one obviously get better.
Yep. All right, 2-2 on Winfield. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on here. Top of the 6th. Rather make that the bottom of the 6th. Ball 4, and Winfield's on with a leadoff walk. Number 5, it looks like to me. 1, 2, 3. Let's make that 6.
6 walks for Tom Candiotti. His 3 previous starts, his first start of the year, he walked 5 and 6 innings. And against the Yankees, he walked 3 and 6 2/3. Last game, his best in the major leagues, 3-hit shutout. He walked 4 against the Orioles, and now 6 tonight. So he's walked 18 men in about 27 innings. That's too many.
It's quite a lot, but he doesn't give up that many hits either, Jim. Foul at the plate, 1-1. It keeps him in trouble, keeps him in hot water, but there are not too many hard hit balls off him. Winfield talking to Roy White.
Winfield probably figures with that big slow kick and that slow curve, he'd like a chance at stealing second base.
He might do it. He'll do it once in a while. Oh, he quick pitched him. Well, it was a pitch out. That's why. At one time, did they call a balk for quick pitching? We look at Gene Michael.
Well, if you don't stop for the mandatory 1 second, it's not really a second anymore.
Oh, look at this. Oh, man, what a break for the Yankees. An error charged to Candiotti as he tried a quick move to first and really threw it wildly.
Actually, that's a balk right there. So he never
got off the rubber.
Toward first base.
That's right.
According to the rules, that's a balk. It was such an unorthodox move. I think it even took Tim Sheeta, the first base umpire, by surprise.
It's a big break for the Yankees now. Winfield at second with nobody out. And a left-hand batter, Mike Easler, up. So if Mike pulls the ball, he'll at least get Winfield over to third. And it's bounced foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
There you get a look at that move. See, that front foot is supposed to step toward first base according to the rules, and he didn't do it. His spikes caught there, and he threw the ball wildly.
All right, we've got Scott Bales and Jim Kern in the bullpen, left-hander and a right-hander for the Indians. Easler, big man here now for the Yankees. He's got to get a piece of that ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. A nice block that time by Allenson. Boy, he saved Candiotti a wild pitch.
Oh, we should point out that both catchers, Hasse and Allenson, even though they have committed a lot of pass balls, have really made some outstanding stops on tough pitches also. This has not been an easy night for them.
I'll tell you, they'll be glad when this night is over. Have to get something to calm their nerves, get a couple of lollipops each, relax. All right, that'll do the job. Easler does his job. He moves Winfield to third with a hard ground ball to Bernazard. And now Pagliarulo will be the batter with Winfield at third. Time is called. Pags has walked and singled to right and scored a run.
Bill White made a good point the other night when we saw one of the hitters in Kansas City do that there's not a statistic to let you know what Easler just did. Actually, it would be nice if that were not an official time at bat, because that's as good as a sacrifice.
Oh, yes.
His only thought that time was to try to pull the ball to the right side and advance Winfield, and he did his job, yet in the stats, he's going to get 0 for 1.
Yes. All right, there's Sweet Lou. And Piniella would love to get a win to go with his name of his new restaurant, Winners. And the grand opening Sunday at the Woodbridge Mall in New Jersey. All right, Pags, a big man. The infield is in. And it gets away, but not too far. That was a break for Allenson. Got a little more of the glove on that one to keep it from rolling back to the wall. Winfield ready to come in on anything.
You get a look at now, that knuckleball will kind of dip low and away. Some of them have been dipping low and in.
Yep.
Makes it awfully tough on a catcher try to guess which way it's going to break.
Pagliarulo up. And he blocks that one again. Keeps it around the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. Winfield back to third. Pags going to try and knock in a run for Grandma Luigi. Just became a grandmother.
Jack Akers going to come out and talk to Tom Candiotti, although we might even see him pull the pitcher. You know, most of the time the manager does that, but over in Cleveland, Corrales sent Aker out to make the pitching change.
Over in it, yeah, in Cleveland he did.
How do you feel? What do you want to do? You want to pitch to this guy? Or you want, that's what he's talking to him about right now. He's saying you want to pitch to Pagliarulo, or you want to put him on and set up the double play and pitch to the right-hand hitting Randolph.
I thought you said you never walk the go-ahead run.
Well, this time of the ball game? I never said that.
Oh, you didn't say
No,
that? Who
book,
said it?
The book says that,
book
but I'm
said
like
it.
Whitey Herzog. I want to find out who wrote that book.
Oh, yeah?
The book.
The book.
If you think you got a chance to get a double play with the next man, I see no reason to put that run on. I know you don't agree with that.
No. Not with a knuckleballer out there. I would with some other kind of pitcher. High 3-0.
See, rather than pitch around, the old proverbial pitch around a guy.
Oh, I don't like that.
No, I just say, hey, either try to get him out or walk him. Right now, they're trying to pitch around Pagliarulo, which is the most dangerous thing you can do.
There's Kernan Bales out there, and the knuckleball is high, ball 4. So first and third with the 7th walk given up by Candiotti. Indians still lead 3-2, but Winfield's at third, Pagliarulo at first, and Willie Randolph now, whose hitting streak is on the line. Willie is hitting every game the Yankees have played. In this game, he's lined to right and walked. And now Allinson's going to say, be careful of the squeeze. And he just gave a sign as to whether he's going to throw through, as Jim Cott mentioned, throw through or throw to the cutoff man or back to the pitcher. And now you see Bernazard touching near the elbow. He's going to cut it off. All right, Willie Randolph, the big man here. 1 out. Low ball 1. Winfield at third. Pagliarulo at first. Low ball 2, 2-0.
Now, if you're Willie Randolph, as he looks down at Gene Michael for the sign, you might be taking a guess and say, I may get a fastball here.
All right. And Gene Michael just said something to Winfield. Almost hit him, 3-0. And he threw another knuckleball. I don't know how far. Oh, he's out of there. This is the second visit to the mound this inning. He's gone 3-0, Jim.
Yeah, he's seen enough. He doesn't want to take a chance on if Candiotti does throw another knuckleball on a pass ball.
What a weird time to take a pitcher out, though. And he, oh, man.
Looks like
he wants
maybe,
Kern.
Yeah, it also looks like maybe he's a little disturbed with what's going on here. I don't know if he's mad at his players or jawing at plate umpire Darrell Cousins.
Well, while the pitching change being made, Jim, let's take time out along the Yankee Baseball Network for the following message.
This is an independent news break.
Good evening, I'm Brad Holbrook. Murder in Brooklyn. A 20-year-old mother was shot in the head and killed last night when she answered a knock on the door of her apartment. Teacher attendance was up, but student attendance was down in New York City's public schools on this second day of Passover. And a dramatic rescue in New Jersey. A 21-month-old baby is reunited with his parents tonight after spending 3 hours in a 15-foot deep hole. Details after the game.
Why fool around with 2-day delivery to Europe? DHL introduces the new Express document. Over there, overnight. Send up to 15 pages overnight to London, Paris, Amsterdam, Brussels, Milan, Frankfurt, Zurich. And at our lowest prices. London, $26, Europe, $29. Why waste any more time? Call DHL for the new Express document. Overnight.
Want a new way to get your kicks?
Now it goes to St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City,
The Toyota MR2.
You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico.
Mid-engine, 16 valves, 2-seater.
Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino.
Very affordable Toyota MR2.
Get your kicks on Route 66.
It's a kick.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
And And the new Indian pitcher, big right-hander Jim Kern. There you get a look at his numbers in 1986. Actually, Kern came up with Cleveland back in 1974, was one of the top relievers in the American League. Fastball well into the 90s and a good palm ball. And now he has made a comeback with the team that originally signed him. Had a big year with Texas in the late 70s, saving 29 ball games. He was in the same bullpen there with Sparky Lyle. He'll face Willie Randolph here, 3-0 count. 1 out, bottom of the 6th, runners at the corners.
All right. Ball 4. Now that walk's going to be charged to Candiotti, so that's 8 walks for Candiotti in the ball game. And now Bobby Meacham. Just part of the ball game. Bases loaded. All on walks. 1 man out. Eastler's ground out to second. And Meacham has hit into a double play and single to left field to drive in a run. Very shallow in left field is Mel Hall. Infield shortens up a little bit. High ball 1. Kern's still got that good fastball, Jim.
He does. He's really come back well. He made a comeback briefly with the White Sox and the Brewers in the last couple of seasons and has had some arm problems, but his fastball has come back.
High ball 2. Allenson pulling that ball, but it's 2-0. You know Meacham's going to take at least 1 strike. At least I think he is.
You think he'll take this one?
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah, I think with a number 9 hitter, yes. If you had Mattingly or Winfield
oh,
up there,
no. Oh, no. And he took a strike right down Broadway, but he was taken all the way, so now got to protect that plate. Just pop that ball.
Seen a lot of people look at that pitch and say, well, why didn't he swing? But like you said, you play the percentages. You want to make that pitcher throw a strike.
Ball 3, 3-1. He might even take one here, Jim. Three balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases loaded. All 3 runners leaving the way. He took it. It's 3-2. I hope the runners know how many out there are so that they don't start running it.
This is the kind of game it's pretty easy to lose track of that.
You could. All right,
See
full
Winfield
count.
telling him, watch the line drive right there. Make the ball go through.
Right. Bases loaded. Winfield at third. Pagliarulo at second. Randolph at first. And the payoff pitch to Meacham. Base hit. Holy cow. 1 run is in. They're waving flags in. Throw to the plate. He's going to score. Throw to second. He'll get Meacham. But the Yankees take the lead. Oh, that Meacham showed me something there. Taking on 3-1 and then banging that 3-2 pitch for a base hit. Unbelievable. Standing ovation for Bobby Meacham.
Well, and he's got 3 RBIs.
Yep.
Of the Yankees' 4 runs. There you get a look at it. Ball really was down and out of the strike zone. But like most left-hand hitters, Meacham is a low ball hitter when he hits left-handed. And you see the ball out of the reach of Bernazard. Sharp single and 2 more RBIs. So Meacham 3 RBIs on the night. And the Yankees take a 4-3 lead.
All right, all those runs charged to Candiotti, who is the pitcher of record right now. The Yankees lead 4-3. 2 men out, and the batter, Ricky Henderson. Ball 1. Willie Randolph is at third base. That play went 9-3-6 to erase Bobby Meacham. Good breaking pitch. 1-1 the count. Not a weird game, huh? 3 runs, 4 hits, and an error. 4 runs, 3 hits, and 2 errors. Last night, the Yankees got a gift, and the night before, they got a gift on errors to help win the ball game. Strike 2.
Well, it's been a cliche in this business for years that to come out to the ballpark, you'll always see something different. Tonight's a good example of that.
Said as many years as I've been around, this is probably one of the most unusual games I've ever seen. Two balls and 2 strikes on Rickey Henderson. Rickey is 0 for 3, struck out and reached on a wild pitch. Stole a base, also fly to center, popped to short. Broken bat, ground ball to second, and Bernazard throws him out. But the Yankees pick up 2 big runs on just 1 base hit, 1 error, and they leave a man. Jim Cott and Bill White will carry you along, and on the Canon camera scoreboard at the end of 6, it's the Yankees 4, the Indians 3, and we are now going to pause for station identification.
Running smooth and silent, Exxon, Exxon, running strong and sure, Exxon, Exxon, running smooth and easy, running with the Tiger.
Across America, people count on Exxon Extra, our highest octane unleaded premium ever. It quiets knocks and pings for smooth performance.
WPIX, New York.
If you could cut this special coupon out, you could open a New York City OTB telephone account. Now there's same-day cash withdrawals at every branch, money transfers from Visa and MasterCard, and a toll-free number to place your bets. Fortunately, coupons are also available in newspapers, any New York City OTB branch, or call 704-5555. We'll take it from there. New York City OTB. Changing for the better.
Burger King presents a croissant to go.
It's a breakfast to go, Joe. You can eat it anywhere, Claire. It's crispy and light. You'll love each bite, so have a croissant to go.
Burger King presents a light, flaky croissant with real eggs and cheese and your choice of ham, sausage, or bacon. You get your pick, Rick.
The taste is best west. You can have it on your way, Ray. Come to Burger King, the very first thing, and have a croissant to go.
A croissant to go at Burger King. Hurry, it's going fast.
And there you get a look at Brian Fisher. He's going to come in to relieve Joe Niekro here in the top of the 7th as the Yankees, on the strength of Bobby Meacham's bases-loaded single in the bottom of the 6th, took a 4-3 lead. There you see his saves. This is his 8th appearance. 6'4", 210-pounder. And he, along with Dave Righetti, have, of course, been the stoppers for Lou Piniella out of the bullpen. So Niekro's numbers on the night, he pitched 6 innings, a tough 6. He allowed just 4 hits. He walked 6, struck out 4. None of the runs that the Indians scored were earned. All 3 unearned runs. So top of the 7th, Yankees lead 4-3. And to lead things off against Brian Fisher, Julio Franco. And to bring us the action, Bill White.
All right, Jim Cott. Yankees and the Indians in a seesaw battle here at the stadium. Game 2 of this 4-game series. And Julio Franco batting against Brian Fisher. Franco is 0 for 2 in the game. He's bounced into a double play. He's walked and struck out. And it's ball 1.
Been a weird night so far, hasn't it?
Fast balls, wild pitches. Yankees have been the beneficiaries of 8 walks. Winfield in right. Uses all 6'7" for the first out.
Well, of course, Fisher with that good live fastball, and most of these Indian hitters, after seeing that knuckleball, there you get a look at it. Going the opposite way, chances are they're going to be swinging a little late at Fisher after seeing all those dancing knuckleballs. And there you see Winfield make the play. And one guy who's real happy right now is Ron Hasse.
Yep. There's a ball away. Now, they still use that big glove, Jim. I know Weininger started that, even though they changed pitchers from the knuckleballer to the fastballer. That's low.
2 wild pitches.
1-1 on Hall. Hall, so far in the game, 0 for 2 with a walk. And to left field there again, you mentioned swinging late. Of course, Hall's a late swinger anyway. And there are 2 outs.
You mentioned he continues to wear the big glove.
The catcher.
Even though the knuckleball pitcher's out of there. And you say Weiniger started this?
Weiniger started that. I noticed the other day and asked Butch about it. He says the glove feels good.
There's tonight's attendance, 20,030. And they've been in for a little of everything, including a few raindrops, as Bill mentioned, some pass balls, wild pitches, a couple timely base hits, a few arguments with the umpire from both Lou Piniella and Pat Corrales.
Here's a guy who can tie the ball game up, Andy Thornton. And he just drips one back up the middle. He's a good fastball hitter.
He really is, and he proved that the first time up. That double he hit over Ricky Henderson's head to straightaway center. If Yankee fans will remember, a few years ago they had a right-hand hitter named Bob the Bull Watson. Thornton reminds me a lot of him.
Yeah.
And I always feared those kind of guys as a pitcher because they can hit some wicked shots through the middle.
And with 2 outs and Thornton on at first base, Brooke Jacoby's a batter. He has struck out twice and walked. Jacoby has hit in 11 straight. His streak in jeopardy. And so is Willie Randolph's streak. Willie has a 15-game hitting streak, and he'll be up one more time in the game. Maybe. Jacoby struck out twice and walked. And it's 1-1 on him. Well, I looked at Weiniger with that big glove, and I wondered if he could get the ball out with the pitcher who has the ordinary fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, and he just uses it like a first baseman mitt, and he likes it.
Another example of how the game has changed over the years. Catchers years ago used to use a very small glove with a tiny hole in the center, and they had to catch every ball two-handed.
That's high. Thornton at first. He does not run that well. There are 2 outs. And the Yankees lead 4-3 in the top half of the 7th inning. Into right field, and Winfield is there. He's got plenty of time. And the side is retired. No runs, a 1-base hit by Thornton, and Thornton left at first base. Bottom of the 7th coming up. Yankees leading Cleveland 4-3.
Bud Thunder. It's revved up and coming at you.
It can be a cold, icy world when you're looking for a reliable car at an affordable price. That's the time to consider the front-wheel drive Toyota Tercel. It's the most trouble-free new subcompact car sold in America. It's Toyota's lowest price car, and it has satisfied over 500,000 owners. That's why when it comes to value, the Toyota Tercel leaves the others frozen in their tracks.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
Great days are coming to Yankee Stadium.
Hey, Winfield, I think you can use one of these.
What do you mean, lady? It's a beautiful day.
Pepsi Yankee Umbrella Day is April 27th. All fans at the Yankees-Indians game will receive a Yankee umbrella compliments of Pepsi.
So you're supposed to be the big star, huh?
Lady, I'm known for my hitting and my fielding.
Now I know you need this. The heat's getting to you.
The New York Yankees follow the leaders in 86.
Bottom of the 7th, Jim Kern still on the mound for the Cleveland Indians, and to lead it off against Kern is going to be Ken Griffey. The totals through 6.5. Indians 3-5-1. The Yankees 4 runs, but just 3 base hits, and they've committed 2 errors.
All right, Jim. Griffey so far in the game, 0 for 3. In the 7th inning, the Tigers have taken a 7-2 lead over the White Sox. At one point in that game early, the White Sox led 2-0. One strike on Griffey. Lou Piniella talking to the troops. Got out in front. This should be easy for the right fielder, Carter. One away.
Well, we mentioned when Kern was really in his heyday with the Rangers, he possessed a really live fastball and a palm ball. That looked like it was either that palm ball or a slider to get the hitter out in front.
Well, here's Mattingly, who's bounced to second, flied to left, and sent Brett Butler all the way back to the wall to make a fine catch in the 5th inning. And that's a ball. These Indians, that outfield, they'll go up to single, but they don't want you to hit anything over their heads. If you do, it's got to be out of the park. They are deep in center field and right field.
I was mentioning to Scooter earlier in the game, it is interesting to see the Yankee left fielders, and then especially tonight with Mel Hall, because of a lot of room in left center field, they automatically play deeper. They don't take into consideration who the hitter is or how far away they are.
There's another change. Tabler, Kern covering, 3-1 put out, and they're 2 outs. That's a play the Yankees failed to execute earlier, and that cost them a couple of runs. Here's Ron Hasse. He has walked twice and flied to center field. Yankees 4, the Indians 3. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Ball game that's taking its time.
It has been one of those nights. The tempo has picked up a little in the recent innings, but it really moved slow the first 3 innings.
Ball 1.
I mentioned that to Scooter, and I'm sure you'd feel the same way. This game, it had to be tough on you playing first base behind pitchers that work slow like Candiotti worked.
And didn't throw strikes.
Right.
Hey, that's even worse. You continually tense to get into play, and then you relax, and you tense again and relax. It makes it a long night.
Well, every infielder has their little mannerisms they go through to get ready for the pitch.
2-0 on Hasse. And that's pulled foul outside of first base. It's 2-1. A pitcher named Larry Jackson, who I don't think wanted to get a guy out with the first pitch. He wanted to go 3-2 on everybody.
Thought he was getting paid by the hour.
Yeah. Excellent slider. But he'd get ahead, no balls, 2 strikes, and then invariably the count would go 3-2, and then the guy would foul 2 or 3 off. Another change. Good change by Kern. 2-2 on Hasse.
Very few pitchers over the span of a career have been successful pitching from behind. We get a look at Hasse way out in front of that pitch as he had to reach for it. Early Wynn was one of the few. Another look at it from center field. Good off-speed pitch.
Now the fastball inside, 3-2.
I can't think of any National League pitchers. Early pitched his entire career in the American League, but he was one guy that could consistently come back from 3-1, 3-2 and get you out, but not many can do it.
There's a 3-2 to Hasse. And another change, and that's a fair ball. Should be extra bases. Nope. Yeah, it will be. No one touched it, and Franco didn't get there in time. Hasse has a double. Take that, baseball.
Well, as we showed you the pitch before where Hasse was way out in front, that's almost the identical pitch, but he cues it right off the end of the bat. Jacoby makes a good effort but can't do anything about it. And tomorrow on the box score, that'll be a solid 2-base hit for Ron Hasse.
They all look alike tomorrow. It'll be a 1-4-2 for Hasse. Oh. Fan did not make a good play. Here's Winfield now batting with Hasse down at second and 2 outs. The Yankees leading by a run in the 7th inning. Ball 1. Winfield scored the tying run in the 6th inning, and Pagliarulo scored the go-ahead run. Niekro scored on a single by Bobby Meacham. Meacham has driven in 3 of the 4 Yankee runs tonight. 1-1.
Hassey's probably standing down at second base saying, it's about time I got a break tonight with what all I've been through, chasing this knuckleball around.
Well, as you mentioned, he certainly was glad to see Brian Fisher. A bit high to Winfield. 2 balls and a strike. We'll be back at it again here tomorrow afternoon at 1:30. Yankees and the Cleveland Indians. 3rd game of this 4-game set. Tomorrow it'll be Ed Whitson against Don Schulze. Two and 2 on Winfield. Then you'll set your watches up an hour Saturday night and come back out here Sunday at 1:30 to see Bob Tewksbury against Phil Niekro.
And get a free umbrella at the same time.
That's right. Niekro's lone win this year, beating the Yankees in Cleveland. Yep, it's umbrella day here Sunday. Oh, at the ballpark, you can get umbrellas, you can get radios and hats and helmets and bats, wallets, wristbands.
You start your own department store.
T-shirts, Billy's Back T-shirts. 2 and 2 on Winfield. 3 and 2. Batting gloves. Forgot about the batting gloves. Calendars. Got him on the fists, and it's out of play down the left side. Still 3 and 2 on Winfield.
Well, with the exception of tonight, you can see some exciting baseball out here. We'll have to say that tonight has not been, it has been a thrilling game, but from a pure baseball standpoint, it has not been a well-played game, a well-pitched game. Rather sloppy, but nevertheless, it's been close and competitive.
And the Yankees lead 4-3 in the 7th. He checked it, I believe. Let's see what Tashida says at first base. Now he finally says no. Did not go around.
There you get a look at it. See once whether he did. No, he held just in time. And Jack Aker, the pitching coach, is going to come out to chat with Jim Kern, obviously about something in his pitching motion or how to pitch to Mike Easler, because the Indians have no one throwing in the bullpen. And you see Aker doing all the talking. Of course, every pitching coach usually has an idea of what a pitcher is supposed to look like when he's throwing the ball right. And maybe he's spotted something as we see Jamie Easterly get up in the Indian bullpen. Maybe he has spotted something that Kern is not doing properly. And he'd like to see him correct it.
So the Yankees are leading here 4-3, and Mike Easler is a batter. He's got runners at first and second and 2 outs. Easler is 0 for 3 in the game, although he has scored a run. Strike 1. Yankees have 4 runs on just 4 base hits. And they only got 2 of those 4 base hits off Tom Candiotti. The Indians have 3 runs on 5 base hits. And 4 of those 5 base hits off Yankee starter Joe Niekro. Two strikes on Mike Easler. We're talking on the other side, Jim Cott. Mike Easler basically a left center, right center hitter. He did that in spring training, but once he got here, I think, and saw that wall in right field, he's been trying to pull everything.
Well, that can be the danger for a hitter, as you would know, to try to tailor your swing for a stadium and get out of really what you do best as a natural hitter.
Well, it's 0-2 on Easler.
That's why Fenway Park always produces so many good left-hand hitters, because it makes them wait on the ball, keep their shoulder in, as hitting coaches teach, and go the other way.
That's out of play, upper deck left side.
Going back to the days of Pete Runnels, Ted Williams, and you got Carl Yastrzemski, now Wade Boggs, Freddie Lynn, Buckner is a left-hand hitter. They all hit well in Fenway Park because it's so easy to wait in that park and go the other way, whereas Yankee Stadium is just the opposite. It's so tempting for a left-hand hitter to want to pull that ball down in the corner, and of course you alter your swing and get way out in front of some of the pitches.
Well, they come in here and see 411 in left center. And they know they can't hit it out there, the left-handers. That's a fair ball, almost hit the bag, and the side is retired. No runs, a base hit. Yankees leave 2. We've played 7, and the Yankees lead Cleveland 4-3.
No other taste attracts so much attention. Diet Pepsi, you gotta be the most refreshingest invention. See that smile, see that look. Diet Pepsi is all it took. Diet Pepsi, have I mentioned? You gotta be the most refreshingest invention. No other taste attracts so much attention.
New York sports are more colorful than New York Newsday. More colorful baseball, football, horse racing, plus baseball bonus pages all season long. There's a more colorful New York in New York Newsday.
Can we have some music?
Isn't it romantic?
Donald Sutherland.
Music in the night, a dream that can be heard.
Karen Black.
Isn't it romantic?
William Atherton.
Moving shadows write the oldest magic word.
The Day of the Locust.
While all the world is saying you were meant for love.
Saturday night at 8, only on Channel 11.
Back at Yankee Stadium in the top of the 8th inning. Get a look at some of the scores around the American League. Right here, the Yankees hold a 4-3 lead. You see the White Sox came back on the Tigers in the 8th inning. They now lead 9-7. Detroit had them down 7-2. Minnesota by a run over California. Milwaukee 8-zip over the Rangers. And you get a look at the rest of the scores. Pat Tabler to lead it off here in the top of the 8th against Brian Fisher, trying to nail down the victory for Joe Niekro, who went the first 6. And here's Bill White with the action.
All right, Jim. Tabler is singled. He's sent the center fielder Henderson to the track in the 4th. Flied to the left. He's 1 for 3. He has now hit in 6 straight games, and it's a strike.
Isn't that amazing? He came up with the bases loaded again earlier in the ball game. Talked about how many times he has had an opportunity and how he's delivered. Batting .629. There's the National League scores.
Past Pagliarulo, a base hit. That was a breaking ball. And Tabler has his second hit. He becomes the tying run there at first base here in the 8th inning. Base hit number 6 for the Indians.
There's a look at the breaking pitch out over the plate. A little bit higher than a pitcher would like to have it, and Pagliarulo makes a dive but can't come up with it.
Wonder if they're going to look you up. They're going to get a runner for Tabler. We mentioned Tabler and Thornton. They both have had knee surgery. And this fella can really fly. He's a former Yankee.
Otis Nixon.
Running for Tabler. Otis Nixon running for Tabler. Nixon for Tabler.
And out in the Yankee bullpen, that base hit got Dave Righetti up off the bench. Begin to loosen up.
Well, here's Joe Carter. Carter is struck out, bounced out, and walked. There's Rags.
Well, you mentioned his speed. He stole 20 bases last year, even though he only went to the plate 162 times, 38 hits. That's a lot of stolen bases percentage-wise, and he had 39 at Maine the year before, AAA ball. So he is a base-stealing threat. There's Bobby Bonds, the first base coach, who was quite a base stealer himself.
Yep. And a home run hitter from the leadoff position. He's one of the few 30 and 30 guys. Had 30 home runs, steal 30 bases.
Now, as if the knuckleball is not enough, watch what Hasse goes through this time. Foul tip, boom, right off the mask. Tough position.
Well, the count's a strike on Mr. Carter, Joe Carter. Even though Nixon has great speed, sometimes if you look at Pinelli, you're always a little leery about letting him go and getting that tying run thrown out at second base for some reason. That's out of play. 2 strikes on Carter.
Another thing, a lot of base runners, even though they possess great speed like Nixon, are better base stealers when they are in the ball game, when they start the ball game. Good example, Gary Reedus, who has probably as much speed as anybody in the major leagues. His percentage when he started the game and was in the flow of the game was fantastic, but as a pinch runner, he was not very successful, coming in cold off the bench.
That slice fouled on the right side. We're talking about Bobby Bonds. Jim Cotton, I just decided to check the Indian Press Guide, and Bonds hit 30 home runs and collected at least 30 bases in a season 5 different times. The only player to ever reach that peak, Willie Mays, did it twice. Tommy Harper, Henry Aaron, Ken Williams, and Dale Murphy have done that once each. 30 home runs, at least 30 home runs, and at least 30 stolen bases.
Well, that's quite a feat, and of course Bonds, such a great leadoff man because he had the power to hit the home runs, and yet if you walked him, you knew he was going to be on second base real quick.
Runner going, and it's a call strike 3, and Nixon has the base stolen. Carter called out on strikes for the first out. Stolen base for Nixon.
There you get a look at it from up top. It was a breaking ball, which is a little more difficult for a catcher to throw a runner out on, and with that great speed of Nixon, they had no chance to get him. Throw was on the money.
So Nixon now, the tying run down at second base. There is 1 down, and here's Tony Bernazard. Bernazard is 2 for 3 in the game. He has scored a run.
Now Hasse's going to go out and talk with Fisher. Bernazard has hit the ball on the nose 3 times tonight. And I know managers don't like to put the lead run on first base, but you get a look in the on-deck circle, and the Indians are going to put up a pinch hitter, Dan Roan, utility infielder, is going to hit for Allenson.
Going to hit for a 400 hitter. That's a ball.
Maybe Pat Corrales is thinking like Paul Richards used to. They talk about Paul Richards, who managed the Orioles years ago. If a hitter was 4 for 4, he might take him out for a pinch hitter. He'd say he's due to make an out.
Well, this kid Allenson, although he came in hitting 400, has yet to get a base hit against Yankee pitching. He's 0 for 8.
Now this guy does that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the umpires let him get by with it as much as they do, because Fisher actually was into his motion right there. Now there's a few pitchers That might spin his cap when he does that.
Well, in what league now? Once you get settled in there, you can't get out. Unless there's an emergency. Is that...
That's a National League rule. I thought it probably was an American League rule. But I know in the National League, once you get in there and get set, you cannot call for time. The umpire can call time, but the hitter cannot.
2 balls, no strikes on Bernazard. .3-0 on Bernazard. Brian Fisher in relief of Joe Niekro, who's a pitcher of record. Niekro went the first 6, gave up 3 runs on 5 hits. Struck out 5, walked 6. .3-1 on Bernazard. Somebody yelled at Ron Hasse from the Yankee bench. And that's ball 4. I think they wanted to make sure he watches Nixon down at second base. So Bernazard walks. Nixon at second.
Even though that won't go down in the books as an intentional pass, it did appear that Fisher was walking him semi-intentionally.
Now here comes Lou Piniella. He waited until Roan was announced in the ball game. And now we're going to go out and probably bring on Dave Righetti. Piniella might make him use a couple of people here in this 9th slot. He does want Righetti. So while the pitching change is being made, let's take time out along the Yankee Baseball Network for the following message.
Budweiser salutes all the men and women in uniform who proudly serve this great country.
Want a new way to get your kicks?
Now it goes to St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City.
The Toyota MR2.
You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico.
Mid-engine, 16 valves, 2-seater. Very affordable Toyota MR2.
Get your kicks on Route 66.
It's a kick.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
Are you a retired New Yorker, 60 or older, with some free time to share? The Retired Senior Volunteer Program would like to talk to you about volunteer opportunities in your own community. Volunteers are urgently wanted in thousands of human service programs, serving people throughout the city. Senior volunteers can use their life experience, knowledge, and skills to make New York healthier and safer, and make new friends at the same time. Call RSVP at 254-8900.
Participating advertisers in New York Yankee baseball are Dodge, a performance revolution, an American revolution. Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Your Toyota dealer in the Toyota Celica. Performance and style. Who could ask for anything more? Your Greater New York Pepsi-Cola bottlers, makers of Diet Pepsi, Slice, Mountain Dew, and Pepsi Free. And by the New York Yankees. And back in the action here, Dave Righetti. You see the numbers on Rags, the first part of the season, will relieve Brian Fisher. Now, Pat Corrales, I think, actually is achieving what he wants right here. He has a better right-hand hitter, Carmen Castillo, who is going to hit for the announced pinch hitter, Dan Roan. But in Lou Piniella's case, he has what he wants because he has his ace reliever, Dave Righetti, coming in the ball game for the heart of the Cleveland lineup. Once he gets past Castillo, he'll have Brett Butler at the top, who's a left-hand hitter. So he has his best out there, but Corrales has a little more of a threat with Castillo than he did with Dan Roan. Castillo is a 27-year-old right-handed hitting outfielder who has been platooning for the Indians. There you get a look at Corrales on the Indian bench. Last year, in 67 games, Castillo hit 11 home runs. Thus far this year, he's hitting .263. He's appeared in 6 games. He has a home run and 4 runs batted in. There you get a look at him. Carmen Castillo. Born once again in that little town that we speak of often, a mecca for Major League Baseball players, San Pedro de Macorís down in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, there's Castillo. Roan had been announced, so you can scratch him. So with one pitching change, they get rid of 3 people. Allenson, Roan, and now they're dealing with Castillo. Yankees leading 4-3 here in the top of the 8th inning. Once again, time call. Castillo basically a fastball hitter. And of course, Righetti basically a fastball pitcher. Indian runners at first and second with 1 away. Strike 1.
Righetti's appearing in his 8th game. This is the first time he's faced the Indians this year. He's got 4 saves and a couple of wins.
Righetti taking his time. Two strikes on Carmen Castillo. Willie Hernandez of the Tigers has 5 saves. As we watch.
There's that big swing, and you see he didn't come close to getting around on that fastball.
He got that big looping swing you talked about. 0-2 on Castillo. We mentioned Hernandez with 5 saves. Don Ossie of Baltimore has 4, along with Dave Righetti. Dan Quisenberry has 3. He usually wins the thing. Still 0-2 on Castillo. Oh, the Mets leading the Cardinals 2-0 in the 7th. In the 9th inning, Phillies 6, Pittsburgh 1. And earlier, Montreal beat Chicago in Chicago. Yankees trying to extend their winning streak to 6 straight. Got him with the hard one. 2 down. Dave Righetti coming on in relief of Brian Fisher in a save situation. Strikes out pinch hitter Carmen Castillo. Now that'll bring up a little tough hitting left-hander, Brett Butler.
And even though Corrales got the hitter he wanted up there, a power hitting right-hander against the ace of the Yankee bullpen, the fastball pitcher, 1 out. Well, that big swing looks like he's going to be a much better hitter on off-speed pitches than he is on a fastball like Righetti's. And
maybe about a 70-mile fastball.
Yeah, and I'm sure Lou Piniella knew that when he brought Righetti in from the bullpen.
Brett Butler is 0 for 3 in the game, but he is a pesky hitter. Slaps the ball around and takes high, ball 1. 2 out, 2 on. We look at the Yankee bench. Good speed down at second base. Otis Nixon. That's out of play. Yankees are playing Butler to hit that way toward left. Griffey near the line and in shallow. He'll stay right there. You see Henderson also a bit toward left center and not deep. 1 ball, 1 strike on Brett Butler. High, 2-1. Butler making Righetti wait here in the 8th inning. Yankees 4, Cleveland 3. Ball game seesawing back and forth. That's a strike. 2-2 on Butler. Cleveland took a 1-0 lead after 2. Yankees came back with 2 in the bottom half of the 4th to go ahead 2-1. Then in the 5th inning, Cleveland scored 2 more to make it 3-2.
Deuce is wild.
And the Yankees came back in the bottom of the 6th with 2 more. So they lead now 4-3 with the count 2 balls, 2 strikes on Brett Butler, and 2 on and 2 out. All he wants to do is get a piece of the ball. He just laid the bat out. He didn't want to strike out and didn't. Nubbed it foul off third.
It was the first breaking ball that Righetti threw him. He went with 2 fastballs out of the strike zone, 2 in the strike zone. And as you mentioned, Butler, just a defensive swing, trying to put the bat on the ball, keep from striking out.
Sliced foul. That'll make the seats down the left side. And that's all Butler wants to do. Just lay the bat out on the ball and hopes he can find a gap somewhere in left center, right center.
Of course, any ball hit down there, as Bill pointed out, the Yankees have shifted way over toward the left field foul line against a slap hitter like Butler. And if you wonder how they determined doing that, they've got Stump Merrill, one of their coaches, up here in the press box with a walkie-talkie, plus all the charts on the hitters around the league. There's Gene Michael in the Yankee dugout and Joe Altobelli that talk back and forth to him.
Breaking ball just missed, and they almost had Nixon caught between second and third. He sort of went to sleep there. And it's 3-2 now on Brett Butler.
Well, there's where a base runner, of course, in this situation with 2 strikes, as soon as he sees the bat begin to move, he's going to begin to take off because there are 2 outs, and any kind of a swing means action. And he almost got trapped off second base.
Oh, the runners will be moving here on this 3-2 pitch. And it's ball 4 as Butler works Righetti for a walk, and that'll load him up. At third base, Otis Nixon. At second, Tony Bernazard. And on at first, Brett Butler.
Well, if there's one thing that Lou Piniella did not want Righetti to do is to walk Butler, because now he's going to face one of the tougher right-hand hitters in the American League, Julio Franco.
Franco's bounced into a double play. He has walked, struck out, and flied to right field. Now, he does the same thing, Jim Cott, that Castillo does, but he can get that bat out quicker on the fastball. Watch him wrap this bat.
You see Roy White. He's trying to get Henderson's attention out in center field. And they'd like to have him move more toward the right field foul line.
Well, he's got his people where he wants them. They're more or less straight away. Curve, a strike to Franco. I think he was laying out there looking for a fastball, the way he went out quickly with the left foot.
Well, you mentioned the way he cocks that bat, and I guess Dick Allen's one of the few hitters that I can remember that could really cock the bat like that and still get around on a good fastball in his prime.
It's a strike on Julio Franco. Another curve to Randolph. And the side is retired. Righetti comes on, strikes out 1, walks 1, gets the 3rd out. No runs, a base hit, 3 men left on base. At the end of 7.5 innings of play, the Yankees 4, the Indians 3.
While I'm shaving, I'm thinking, what am I going to say tonight, you know? Thinking about the previous night's Nick game. And what I'm going to do with highlights and all that. On the way in, I'm thinking what I'm going to do. Then when I get there, I find out that I've been cut out of a show. It's always good.
Jerry Gerard, very independent sports. On the Independent News, 7:30 and after the Yankees, only on Channel 11.
Burger King presents a croissant to go.
It's a breakfast to go, Joe. You can eat it anywhere, Claire. It's crispy and light. You'll love each bite, so have a croissant to go.
Burger King presents a light, flaky croissant with real eggs and cheese and your choice of ham, sausage, or bacon. You get your pick, Rick.
The taste is best west. You can have it on your way, Ray. Come to Burger King, the very first thing, and have a croissant to go.
A croissant to go at Burger King. Hurry, it's going fast.
The people, the places, the learning, the adventure. The world is waiting. Be an exchange student. Write Youth Exchange, Pueblo, Colorado, 81009.
In no time, Midas can install mufflers, brakes, shocks, or struts on most any farm car.
Take it to Midas.
Even fancy ones.
Take it to someone you trust.
And back at Yankee Stadium, we move to the bottom of the 8th inning with the Yankees holding a 4-3 lead. There you get a look at our next telecast. It'll be against these same Cleveland Indians Sunday afternoon with Bob Tewksbury against Phil Niekro. Jim Kern, on in relief of Tom Candiotti, gets sets to pitch to Mike Pagliarulo.
All right, Jim, and it's a strike. We've got some defensive changes for the Indians. Here's Nixon, Otis Nixon in left field. And Mel Hall goes to right. And Carter goes from right field to first base. So that's Joe Carter. And we've got a new catcher, Chris Bando. So 4 changes here. The count 2-0 on Pagliarulo. He's 1 for 1 in the game, and he scored a couple of runs. He's walked twice. 2-1. Yankees 4, Indians 3. We mentioned not too many hits in the game, 10 total. Cleveland has 6 of those. The Yankees 4. We've had wild pitches. We've had fastballs. We've had quite a few walks. 3 balls and a strikes on 1 strike on Pagliarulo.
Well, we've had 16 walks between the two teams. Candiotti, the starter for the Indians, walked 8. Joe Niekro walked 6. Both knuckleballers had that thing fluttering around tonight.
Right center field, but out there is Brett Butler. All he has to do is cut across. He plays a deep center field. And there's 1 out.
Now, the last inning, if you're Lou Piniella, for a minute there, you were a little disturbed about the way things were going because you saw Dave Righetti walk Brett Butler, the left-hand hitter, and he had to face Julio Franco with the bases loaded. But now that he's retired him, you feel pretty good if you're Piniella because Mel Hall, the left-hand hitter, will have to lead off the inning against the left-handed Righetti.
Here's Randolph trying to extend his hitting streak to 16 in a row. Ball 1. Willie has lined to right. He's walked twice. I asked an umpire once a tricky question. If you've got a hitting streak going, I believe this is the way. If you walked 3 times and was hit by a pitch once, the streak goes by the board.
Even though you didn't have an official at bat?
Yeah.
I think so.
Either that or a sacrifice fly. I forget. I'll better ask him again. Might have been a sacrifice fly, where you're not charged with an official time at bat, but your hitting streak is erased. You know, there are a lot of rules that are quite complicated. 2-1 on Randolph. Now it's 3-1. 1 out, nobody on. We're in the bottom of the 8th. The Yankees lead to 4-3. Have to ask Durwood Merrill about that tomorrow. He's the crew chief here now. That Jim Evans has some irritated eyes. And Randolph walks for the 3rd time in the game. He's there at first base with 1 away. Here's Meacham. Meacham's had a big night. 2 singles, 3 runs batted in 3 trips.
He's been the hitting hero for the Yankees. That was a tough at bat. He was asked to take a 2-0 and a 3-1 pitch back in the 6th inning, and he delivered on a 3-2 line drive single.
There's a strike to Meacham. In the 9th inning, Jim Cott was mentioning the Indians due up Mel Hall, Andre Thornton, and Brooke Jacoby. They thought Randolph might be moving, but he was not. It's 1-1. We mentioned Willie with the 15-game hitting streak on the line. He's 0 for 1 here. Should Righetti get the tribe out in the 9th inning, Willie will have to start a new one.
Well, if there's some fans joined us late, as you see Kern toss over to first baseman Joe Carter, we did not have a rain delay tonight. It's been a normal game, even though it's 3 hours and 20 minutes old.
Two balls and a strike on Meacham. Kern really worried about Randolph.
Well, we see that happen so often when you get a base-stealing threat on first base. Now, Akers going to come out again.
I think we're going to get another. The way he's looking. Yeah, he wants a left-hander.
The way Kern threw that last pitch, I'm not sure if his arm is bothering him or his mechanics are just so messed up tonight that he isn't able to throw the ball over the plate.
Well, let me ask you this now. Normally, Pat Corrales goes out for pitcher.
Yeah.
Now, he did not go out then.
Now, he did one time, but you remember the series over in Cleveland, he also sent Aker out one time.
To get Kern.
Was it just to get Kern?
I think so.
Maybe that's one of those cases where Kern's a little bigger than Corrales. He doesn't want to face up to him. I don't really think that's the case, but that is unusual. There's Scott Bales.
As I remember, I would hate to say that, but as I remember, I think Aker did that both times when they went and got Kern. You know, Kern got banged up pretty good in Cleveland. He gave up in 2 innings 4 hits and 2 runs there.
There's the left-hander, Scott Bales. 6 foot 275-pounder, and you corrected me on this over in Cleveland. It's Chillicothe, Ohio, which is where Scott's from.
Well, that's close enough.
This is his 7th appearance for the Indians this year. He did face the Yankees back on the 17th of April, just 2/3 of an inning. And he's the one that threw that line drive double play that Don Mattingly hit down the first baseline to end the ball game. He has a record of 2-1 on the year. And his last time out saved a win for right-hander Ken Schramm. So it's been a sloppy game, lots of pass balls. 3 by Hasse, 2 by Allenson, filled with wild pitches. Of course, all of those coming when both knuckleballers were on the mound. Tom Candiotti, who started the game for the Indians, and Joe Niekro, who started for the Yankees. Both are still the pitchers of record. Fisher and Righetti have come on for the Yankees in relief of Niekro. And now Kern and Bales in relief of Candiotti for the Indians. The Yankees with just 4 base hits in the ball game. But one of those, a key line drive single by Bobby Meacham back in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-2 bases loaded pitch that got the lead runs in. All 3 of the Indian runs are unearned.
Here we go. Meacham now will turn around. He'll bat right-handed against Bales. With the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Randolph at first. There is 1 out, and the Yankees are leading 4-3. There's Willie Randolph. And it's 3 balls and a strike on Meacham. Three and 2 on Meacham. And with 1 out, let's see if Randolph will be going, or will they play it safe to try to get Henderson to swing. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. He's gone. And it's ball 4, missed with the breaking ball on 3 and 2. Well, you don't see left-handers do that too often.
Now, that surprises me. I mentioned that earlier in the ball game. Candiotti had Meacham hitting, and this is not to downgrade Bobby Meacham's hitting, but percentage-wise, when you're facing the number 9 hitter in the lineup, as opposed to a Ricky Henderson, most of the time you're not going to throw him a lot of breaking balls and take a chance on falling behind in the count or walking him like he did right there. But they have done it tonight.
On 3-2, especially the breaking ball. Here's Ricky Henderson. He is struck out. Fly to center, popped to short, bounced to second. He's 0 for 4. He has stolen a base. He now has 13. That's tops in the American League. That might be trouble. It'll go away from the right fielder, and it's a base hit. Randolph will score. Meacham will hold at third as Henderson goes into second base, and the Yankees now lead 5-3. You know, when you're talking about games, Jim Cott, you can go back to one pitch, and you just wonder why, and it's second guessing. You've got Meacham up there, and they would throw a 3-2 curveball.
There you get a look at the swing and the slicing drive down the right field line. Well, it is poor percentage anytime you have the hitters in the bottom part of the lineup and you throw too many breaking balls and take a chance on walking them. You're not giving yourself the best shot at it.
Well, the Indians now will bring their infield in with 1 down, and the batter is Ken Griffey. Griffey's 0 for 4. And he's got a base hit. 2 more runs will score. There's Meacham. And look at Henderson flying across home plate. Well, the Yankees have broken it open here in the 8th inning. They now lead 7-3.
Well, and even though those last 2 base hits, as we see the congratulations taking place in the Yankee dugout, the last 2 base hits produced the runs, but really the thing that got the Indians in trouble was the walk to Willie Randolph by Kern, and then the 3-2 pitch where Bales went to the breaking ball and walked Meacham.
Mattingly hooks it foul down the right side. By the way, that walk to Meacham was charged to Kern's record.
And the reason for that is when Bales took over, he did inherit a 2-ball and no strike count.
Mattingly 0 for 4 so far. Yankees striking for 3 runs here in the 8th inning. Joe Carter, he's playing a little bit of first base, but Franco decides to hold the ball at second. That's a 3-6 putout on Griffey. Mattingly at first base. That's the second out. And we'll get Ron Hasse. No, Kern did about the same thing tonight, Jim Cott, that he did in his relief appearance in Cleveland. 2 runs, 2 hits.
Well, we point that up so often, the importance of middle relief.
Hasse bends back from a curve. They've been over the plate. Hits are all even now at 6 apiece, but the Yankees lead 7-3. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Mets lead the Cardinals 5-0 in the 8th inning. That's high. Houston 3, Cincinnati 1 in the 9th. Your buddy Pete Rose playing?
He hasn't played yet. He is active now, but he has not made an appearance unless he is tonight against Nolan Ryan. Knowing Pete, that's who he'd like to break in against.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ryan?
Yeah, that's, you know, he's going to want to pick out one of the toughest pitchers to break in. That's just his personality. That's a good breaking ball from Bales right there on Hasse, and I'm sure Corrales will see Scott Bales be a member of his starting rotation before the year's over.
That's wide. 2-2 on Ron Hasse. tell you, young guy we're going to see pitch a little bit before the season's over, I think. Base hit for Hasse. He goes the other way. That left-hander that relieved in Milwaukee against the Yankees.
Lisa, yeah.
Yes, sir.
George Bamberger's very high on him. In fact, Bamberger's very high on a number of his young pitchers over there. Juan Nieves, Wegman,
Higuera. So the Yankee runners at first and second. They're trying to give Randolph another shot here, as Winfield is the 7th man to bat in the 8th inning. With 2 outs, Winfield has walked. He's bounced into a double play, walked and scored, walked again. So basically, he's 0 for 1. He has scored a run.
And here comes Jack Aker. He's going to need a new pair of shoes.
You know what? I think maybe Corrales is tired of going out there.
It might be. And he sent him out there a number of times right here. And we've got a right-hander warming up in the Indian bullpen, Rich Yett. And with the right hand hitting Winfield at the plate, that might well be why Aker's on his way to the mound.
Well, the Indians say, if you're going to beat me, we're going to keep you out here until around midnight doing it.
I don't think I've ever seen a 9-inning, 4-hour ball game, but we may before this one's over with.
Now pitching for Cleveland, Rich Yett, his first appearance this year.
And tomorrow's pitchers, when we're back here at Yankee Stadium, will be Ed Whitson for the Yankees, a right-hander. He's got a record of 1-1 on the year against Don Schultze, also a right-hander from the Indians. Identical ERAs, 4.91. Schultze has no record. 0-0. And this is Rich Yett, 23-year-old right-hander who's going to make his first appearance of the 1986 season. Indians got him in the trade last August. He was the player to be named later in the deal that sent Bert Blyleven to the Minnesota Twins. Split last year between the Twins and Toledo. No record with the Twins. He was 9-11 with Toledo. Earned run average of 4.15. 23-year-old right-hander making his first appearance. There you get a look at his 1985 stats right there. 7-3 Yankees, 2 out, bottom of the 8th, in a game that has been a very long, drawn-out ball game. Not by any means a fundamentally well-played game. Some timely hitting by Bobby Meacham early in the ball game for the Yankees, and now here in the 8th, has come off the bats of Ricky Henderson, a double down the right field line, and Ken Griffey with a base hit off the left-hander Scott Bales to knock in 2 more. Niekro, Joe Niekro, started for the Yankees, went the first 6. Brian Fisher relieved him, went an inning and a third, and Dave Righetti has come on and is still in the ball game. So Niekro and Tom Candiotti, the right-handed starter for the Indians, are still the pitcher of record. And Bill, quite a few of the fans have braved this one right to the end.
Yep, they're staying here. Attendance tonight, 20,030 watching the Yankees and the Cleveland Indians play game 2 of this 4-game series. They had last night 17,229. 2 more games in this series, tomorrow afternoon and Sunday afternoon. Jim Cock just mentioned to you the starting pitchers and the times. You told them to set their clocks up an hour Saturday, Jim?
I told Scooter.
Uh-oh.
So when he goes to bed tomorrow, be sure to get up at 2 a.m. and set his alarm to 3. It's got to be 2 a.m.
Winfield takes a strike from Rich Yett. Well, the White Sox beat the Tigers 9-7. 1 point, the Sox led 2-0. Tigers came back and led 7-2. White Sox tied it up. They finally won it 9-7. Kansas City leading Boston 5-0 early in the game. Right here, the Yankees lead 7-3 in the 8th inning. They have scored 3 runs here in the 8th. Big hit, 2-run single by Griffey.
And yet, on the 3 pitches to Dave Winfield, has shown us a good breaking ball. There you get a look at the swing. Well above that good breaking ball from Rich Yett.
Boy, the Mets over the Cardinals 9-0 in the 9th inning. Phillies beat Pittsburgh 6-3. Afternoon, Montreal 4, Chicago 2. 2-2 on Winfield. Did you say Nolan Ryan pitching for Houston?
Nolan Ryan.
He's leading Cincinnati 3-1 in the 9th inning.
Houston's off to a good start. Hal Lanier in his rookie year as manager over there. Former coach of the St. Louis Cardinals. Learned his baseball under Whitey Herzog.
They got Yobes over there whispering in his ear.
That's right. Advisor.
2-2 on Winfield. What's he going to do then? Do you think it was ball 4? Did he start to throw the bat away, or was he think it was strike 3? It's 3-2.
Looked like a close, yeah, looked like a close pitch. Maybe he thought Cousins was going to ring him up.
It's 3-2. So the runners will be moving on this 3-2 two-out pitch to Winfield. That's going to be a base hit. No way Franco can get anybody. Bases are loaded. As soon as that ball got over Yett's head, he was in trouble.
There you get a look at it. Bounced just in front of the plate. Most of the time you'll see those kind of hits off AstroTurf, but if that ball hits just in front of the plate where the dirt is still pretty firm, which that one did, you see the high bounce.
Well, the youngster wasn't on balance either, Jim. You know, he was sort of leaning toward first base, so he couldn't get back there.
But it kind of looked like it hopped up there in Never Never Land, and by the time Franco fielded it, he had no chance to get Winfield.
Mike Easler batting. He's 0 for 4. Yankees have batted around here in the 8th inning. They've scored 3 runs. Too low, ball 1.
You might be right. Maybe Willie Randolph is going to get another crack at that hitting streak.
Well, Easler and Paliulo will have to get on some way. Well, Ranger fans ought to be happy. Rangers have beaten Washington 4-2. That's a final in hockey. 1 ball, 1 strike. That is a Cinderella story.
A couple of them there in hockey. The Calgary Flames still hanging tough against Edmonton.
Yeah, but Gretzky's getting loose. Got 3 goals the other day. Been meeting him at the blue line. That's what the Flyers did to the Russians. So they would let them skate.
Cut them off at the pass.
Yeah, stop before they start skating.
Actually, this young Rich Yett so far has shown better command of his breaking ball than his fastball. Got a good overhand curveball.
Got a 2-ball, 1 strike count here on Mike Easler. Bases loaded with 2 outs, and the Yankees leading 7-3 here in the 8th inning. Foul off first base, 2-2. Oh, this is the, let's see, 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th game we've seen the Indians. We've felt that they've improved, but this is, I think, overall the worst they've looked.
This is one of those games, if it holds the way it is right here at 7-3, and you're Pat Corrales and Jack Aker, you just take the pitching chart and tear it up and forget this one and start over again tomorrow.
Well, that's going to be through there and up against the wall. 1 run, past these 2 runs. Here comes Winfield. He's going to score. Now they've got Easler hung up. One throw, and that'll do it. But Easler doubles in 3 runs. And at the end of 8, the Yankees lead Cleveland 10-3.
The Budweiser International Race of Champions. The challenge, 12 of the world's best drivers, from kart, NASCAR, and endurance road racing. The cars, 12 identically prepared Camaro Z28s. The competition, 4 races, 4 tracks, 1 winner. Get ready for the ultimate championship. The Budweiser International Race of Champions.
Nigel Bishop? Leslie Long from New York.
Jolly good. Put him through.
This is Leslie Long.
The one who always telexes?
Yes. Well, this time I'm calling to discuss an idea.
AT&T International Long-Distance Service lets you share ideas in a way that would be impossible by telex. So if you want to pick up your international business, pick up the phone.
Brilliant idea. I've learned quite a bit about Leslie Long.
Nigel, I'm glad I called.
AT&T, the right choice.
Running smooth and silent. Exxon, Exxon. Running strong and sure. Exxon, Exxon. Running smooth and easy. Running with the tiger. Running smooth.
For our highest octane unleaded premium ever, try Exxon Extra. It quiets knocks and pings for smooth performance.
Running smooth and easy. With the tiger. Exxon.
Back at Yankee Stadium as we move finally to the 9th inning. A game 3 hours and 45 minutes old, which has seesawed back and forth in the middle of the ball game, but now the Yankees have broken it open with 6 in the bottom of the 8th. Dave Righetti will attempt to nail the victory down for Joe Niekro, and even though the score right now stands 10-3, Righetti would be credited with a save if he holds the Indians this inning, because he came in when the score was 4-3 and did face the tying run in the top of the 8th inning. Leading off for the Indians here in the top of the 9th is going to be Eddie Williams, a player they acquired from the Cincinnati Reds over the winter. He's going to pinch hit for Mel Hall to lead off the Indian 9th.
All right, Jim. Yankees 10 runs, 9 hits. And the Indians 3 runs on 6. Eddie Williams.
Been to the plate 1 time this year, has no hits, 0 for 1.
Well, he broke his bat in half as Henderson settles under the ball in center field. 1 away. I've never seen as many bats break in half as I've seen over the last couple of years.
That's got to be real exciting for Eddie Williams. I mean, I know he's a young player and he wants to get in a ball game, but you sit on that bench for about 4 hours and then come in cold and have to hack at a fastball like Dave Righetti's.
Running all over the place. There's one down for Andy Thornton. Thornton is 2 for 3 in the game. Ball 1. Dave Righetti came on last inning. Got Fisher out of a jam. And another base hit for Thornton, his 3rd. And the Indians have not quit. Tribe's trying to get on the warpath here, Jim Cott.
Well, we saw a lot of base on balls and very few hits early in the ball game, and now in the last couple innings both teams have strung together some base hits, especially the Yankees, with Easler, Griffey, Hasse, Henderson all contributing in that bottom of the 8th inning. 6-run inning for the Yankees.
Well, Jacoby has a chance to extend his hitting streak to an even dozen. Ball one. Jacoby struck out twice. He's walked and flied to right field. He has hit in the 11 straight games. In the 10th inning, Toronto leading Baltimore 2-1. Out of play. 1-1.
Well, these two teams will have to sleep fast. They're back at it tomorrow in a day game. 1:30 tomorrow.
Yep, they're lucky that tomorrow isn't tonight. Because they even have less time having to run that clock up an hour.
Miss an hour on the daylight savings time.
1-2 on Jacoby. We talked in Cleveland about this club building through trades. Jacoby and Brett Butler coming from the Atlanta Braves. That was a good deal.
Turned out to be great for the Indians. Barker's no longer in the game.
And he's about $2.5 million richer.
He signed a long term. That's Len Barker we're speaking of, who pitched a perfect game for the Indians when he was with them and was traded to the Braves for Jacoby and Butler.
That's why you have to wait a while to really evaluate a trade, I think.
When you make a trade for a couple young players, obviously sometimes the fans are down on management because they're players that nobody's ever heard of, and then all of a sudden a Jacoby and a Butler come on the scene and become household names.
Remember the Sutcliffe deal with Cleveland and the Cubs. Sutcliffe went over there and just tore that National League up. Straightaway center. Henderson. Looked like he got lost out there for a while, but he got untracked, and there are 2 outs. Sutcliffe went over there and did well, and everybody's getting on the Indians. Now Sutcliffe's having some problems after being injured much of last year, and it looks like the Indians might have a couple of starters in Hall and Carter.
There you get a look at Henderson. Now we're gonna lose him here for a minute. But you see his glove and he makes the put out. Well, Jacoby came about as...
That's where he had to take that skip and get back a little quicker.
Jacoby came as close as he could to keep his hitting streak going, but it appears that his 11-game streak will come to an end. He's 0 for 4 on the night.
And here's Otis Nixon batting for the first time. He went out to pinch run for Tabler in the 8th inning. Stole second, but was left stranded. As Rigetti came on, and the Indians left the bases loaded in that 8th inning. And the Yankees went on to score 6 runs in the bottom of the 8th to lead it now 10-3. Yankees trying for their 6th straight win of the year, or this streak. They had one earlier streak of 5, didn't they?
After that loss in the 2nd day of the season, they strung 5 together.
One ball, 2 balls, and a strike on Nixon.
And here's where, if you're Lou Piniella, even though you have the game well in hand, you'd really like to see Rigetti have an easy inning, because minimize the pitches and keep him fresh for the rest of the series.
It's 3 balls and a strike on Nixon.
You saw him struggle briefly in the 8th inning when he walked Brett Butler to load the bases and got out of it with a ground ball to Julio Franco, and now he's starting to throw a few more pitches than he would like to again this inning.
Henderson again. This should do it. And the Yankees have won 6 in a row. For the Indians in the 9th inning, no runs, a base hit, and a man left. Final score, Yankees 10 and the Cleveland Indians 3.
Within $1 billion empire, one woman uncovers a deadly conspiracy.
I think we're on to Vince.
A woman who played for keeps in a man's world.
It's just not done.
A woman who refused to yield.
You had me fired!
When the men broke all the rules. Pamela Sue Martin, Arthur Haley's Strong Medicine. Premieres Monday night at 8, only on Channel 11.
It's not offshore oil or acres of timber. It's youth. New York City's greatest natural resource is its youth. They're smart, enthusiastic, and eager to show what they can do. This summer, your company can hire New York City's greatest natural resource. It's staring you right in the face.
From hot to cool, from kind to cruel, we've got the ones who break the rules. They're Jimmy, Clint, Bert, and Cagney. They're Bad Boys, Blues Brothers, Yankee Doodle Dandy. They're Don, Dave, Ricky, and Ron. They're Jake, Elwood, Penn, and Con. They're good guys. They're bad guys. They'll make your day. On Channel 11 for the month of May.
Well, back here at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees have won this ball game by a score of 10-3 in a ball game that took quite a while to play. And Bill White here along with Billy Martin. And Billy, fairly sloppy ball game, but the Yankees come through once again for their 6th straight.
Well, Bill, you know, as a manager or an ex-manager, I take those kind of games because there's so many good ones you play and you don't win. I think Lou's kind of happy with it.
And Bobby Meacham coming through after having some problems with a couple of base hits and a key base hit for Bobby Meacham.
Yes, in the 6th inning, he got that nice single out there, and that was just great. I'm glad to see Bobby come through like that. And of course, Ken Griffey got that key hit also, and I think that broke the game wide open.
Well, this base hit here drove in 2 runs, and that put the Yankees ahead. Look at Rulo hustling to score. They did get Meacham at second base, but the Yankees got the 2 runs. Then, of course, the other big hit as the ball game went along with a lot of wild pitches, a lot of pass balls, was Ken Griffey's base hit.
And a lot of walks.
A lot of everything, huh? And here's Griffey.
He's gone with him the other way. That's good hitting. You know, Ken hangs in there real tough on left-handers. He's no easy out up there against left-handers. Here you go. They score easy.
That got 2 more runs. The other hit, I think, that was important. We've been talking about Mike Easler trying to pull the ball all the time. He's a left center, right center hitter, and finally he doubled off the wall with the bases loaded into right center field.
I think when he comes out of it, it's going to really be a plus for the Yankees because he is a good hitter. It's just a question of time.
Now, Billy, the Yankees, sometimes they look bad. Sometimes they might bobble the ball. Sometimes they might walk too many people. But they've won 12 games and lost just 4.
I tell you what, they're playing great baseball no matter what the game was tonight. And they keep going like that, they're going to be awful tough to beat or even catch.
All right, Billy Martin with Bill White. Final score here. The Yankees win it by a score of 10-3. It was their 6th straight win. The Yankees 10 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. The Indians 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. Joe Niekro, the winner, 2-0. Candiotti, the loser, 1-2. Dave Righetti picked up his 5th save. And that's it from here at Yankee Stadium. Tune in on Sunday at 1:30 when the Yankees once again meet the Cleveland Indians. We'll have it for you right here along the Yankee Baseball Network.
Eleven's Alive with the independent news next.
With this new price finder for specials, you won't miss specials. It's a new way to shop for bargains. The new Grand Union price finder for specials contains all the specials in the store, hundreds of them. Here's a sample.
Breyer's ice cream, all flavors, half-gallon, $2.49. Keebler Townhouse crackers, regular or low salt, 16-ounce package, $1.29. 7C's salad dressing, 8-ounce bottle, only 39 cents with coupon.
The Grand Union price finder for specials helps you find the best prices every day.